Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast 165. I said what in the whatever. How's everybody doing tonight?
Caprico, how are you tonight?
And demonetized instantly. It's soda. I'm just totally.
I don't
soda.
do this for the money. I do this for the love.
That's right.
And truthfully, the money is not very fucking much.
No, not anymore.
Especially on these casts, probably. Someone dropped an F-bomb at some point in time, I'm sure, in most of them.
That would be Caprico.
Probably.
Or me, shit.
You're like, or F at me.
I can control it most of the time. It's just when there's something completely out of whack, then it's like,
And now we have no viewers. Hopefully someone will eventually join this, but I think I sent out the wrong link initially because YouTube versus Jitsi was fucking up. I can't use the instance.
Well, there it is.
I can't use the instance Parker created for me because it doesn't actually work for you streaming to YouTube. Capturing through OBS just sucks sometimes for your audio. Oh shit. I really wish Google just had kept Hangouts on air around because it was so fucking simple.
Yeah, they still have it, but they X'd out some of the functionality, right?
Yeah, well, they X'd out the functionality to make it instantly a YouTube stream.
Yeah.
Well, now we have three viewers.
I'm one of them.
That's right.
Hey, Jason.
Jason's in the house, so that's good. He's a regular viewer.
That's right.
I think he's also even in our private channel, so he can always join if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong on that, Jason, let me know. I'll add you.
Yeah, he's in there. He was on one when there was the protest out in Seattle. I think it was for guns.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Yeah,
the Antifa stuff.
It wasn't Antifa. It was Proud Boys.
By the way, the mainstream media seems to be really happy to post a lot of shit about the people protesting to open up business, but they weren't happy about posting shit about Portland and Antifa shutting down roads and shit.
Yeah.
I'm also getting word that those pictures that are going around of a nurse protesting the protest might be faked. I don't know.
Yeah, and there was something whenever Florida last week reopened or earlier this week, I forget when it was, reopened their beaches. Some of the images coming out the next day were actually from LA from like 2 years ago of people walking out on beaches.
Yeah, the number of people I saw out, I have doubts about. I saw some photos going around of Florida reopening of certain beaches, and people were like, elbow to elbow, and I'm kind of doubting that. Because it seems to be a pretty good split between people who say, no, you should still stay at home, and people who want to get out. And I don't think there would be that many people. But then again, I spend very little time on Florida beaches, so it's not like I actually know.
Well, you don't go to Florida beaches like every other weekend? I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. Jason says he knows how to join the cast. I'm assuming he's in the channel, so he gets the link. Not that it sometimes can't be easily figured out. Oh, yeah. I'm doing it with OBS. It might be showed on this fucking screen.
There's number 2 that we are now demonetized. Okay, so I take it back. It's not Nate. It's just Adrian.
Fuck.
See?
Well, what is that? Oh, there's a rap or something from Jason Mewes in one of the Jason. Shit, I'm about to say Jason Street. About to say Jason Scott. No, I'm thinking of the guy who does the Clerks movies. Why is his name escaping me right now?
The what movies?
Who directed them?
Yeah, the guy who directed Clerks and Mallrats.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, thank you. Yeah. I liked a lot of his stuff. He seems to have gone off the rails recently, though.
He also had that thing on History, I think it was, comic book something. Did either of you watch that?
No.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, I think, about the history of comic books, but I think it was like on the History Channel or somewhere.
Tim Pool is my brother is saying Tim Pool has announced a major hack on the Gates Foundation and the Who.
Yeah,
I like that band. Why are you going to hack that band? That band's very good. Oh no, the Who. Different Who. 48 people's password was passwords. Yeah, you find that a lot, bro.
So
I just saw my brother for the first time in like a month and a half. We went to visit our mother's grave.
Yeah.
And well, all our close family's grave. My great grandfather bought a plot in a certain place. Strange bit of trivia. My granddad passed away of a heart attack while driving and plowed in the same cemetery he's buried in.
Real quick on the Gates Foundation and Who. I don't even think we have it on the notes tonight because there's not really anything new. From everything I've read over the last since I think Sunday night, it's all a collection of previously released breaches.
Oh, so they just went through and looked for anybody who related and then brought it up.
Now, granted, some of the logins still work because people are stupid and never change their information, their passwords. But
yeah, my brother was saying that 48 people had password of password.
Yeah, that's very well could be. But yeah, this is not new. It's just where some of the Chan. It started on one of the Chans, I think, where it kind of got drudged up. Not sure which one. 4-8, one of the Chans.
Who's this hacker known as 4chan? Highlight of
5chan's older brother.
Oh man, I got some crazy nut job on the internet calling me a fascist because I posted. I made a talk about times that 4chan has done various crazy shit on the internet.
Yeah.
And one of the things he complained about was we talk about 4chan calling in an airstrike on ISIS. No.
He complained about that?
Yeah, because he's a fucking nut job. I'm sorry, Antifa members are fucking mentally ill people. They don't fight actual fascists. They just call out anybody to the right of Lenin and get pissed off and whine. And then sometimes when they get enough of them in the group, they assault somebody. The violent fucking thugs with too much soy in the fucking bloodstream.
I don't feel like you have a real opinion. Like,
it's not like they're really particularly tough in themselves. However, they have beat the shit out of the Marines once because they maced them first, and then once you're maced, you can't see and you can't breathe well. It's pretty easy to kick your ass if you can't breathe or see well. And I see people defending these fuckers, and I'm like, oh. No.
So were they trying to defend ISIS? I'm assuming.
I'm not sure. This is some crazy peacock-looking motherfucker because he's got this weird mohawk. I'm trying to think of the guy's name now. I don't remember his Twitter handle now, but I don't know. Dude, there's a lot of severely mentally ill people who've gotten into InfoSec because we are so full of jobs. Even now, I think that we'll accept anything that breathes in. And now I know people are going to whine about gatekeeping. No, some of you people are just... I understand there were abuses in the mental health industry in the 60s and 70s that caused a lot of asylums to be closed. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have been reformed, but maybe we went too far one direction. That's all I'm saying. Let's get back on subject.
Well, yes.
Let's go get clipped.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they kind of went the other direction, right? Of just prescribing and getting everybody all drugged up then. And that seems to be their answer to everything. Just, take some more drugs and...
Well, I mean, that's not a solution now because there's a ton of people on various psychiatric medications. And I'm not saying that's always wrong, but I will say that psychiatric medications, I'm thinking there has to be a better term than that. They're hit and miss. Some things work for some people. Some things make other people worse. And it is definitely a trial and error situation when it comes to psychiatric medications. So I don't want to go all Tom Cruise on people. And I'm not denying that they don't help some people. But people's psychochemistry seems to be way different from person to person. And it takes a bit to figure out what's right. Like we have a certain friend of the cast who... Well, his wife convinced him to go off of meds. That was a bad choice. He got back on the meds. He got a lot better. I have another friend who may have been in the cast at some point in time. He got on the right meds and it helped him out tremendously. But there's other people who there's side effects and it takes some effort to find the right things for people. That's
Agreed. Yep.
And that kind of was like the birth of what we understand as like big pharma now, because everything's like, well, now everything has to go to this. Doctors need something to give some sort of whatever. So here's the newest and best pills. And
Oh, yeah.
Here's meth, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there is legal speed,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, Adderall is basically legal speed.
Well,
Yeah.
it's legal if you have a prescription.
Oh, I was on it for a
Correct.
while because it did help me get up in the morning and be more productive. But I eventually went off of it because they wanted me to take randomized drug tests from time to time just to prove I was taking it so that I was proving I wasn't selling it. And
Oh,
that became a massive pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's popular on the black market, but I used to take it when I was a teenager because I had ADHD problems. So
yeah. I never really thought about somebody having you take a drug test though to validate that you are using it though.
Maybe it's just
That's
Indiana, but
interesting.
there are all places that do that, unfortunately.
Huh.
Which is why I went off it because it was too much of a pain in the ass. Because me peeing on command is sometimes difficult. Well, I mean, I show up in the morning, or I don't have to pee. I'll go out and drink a bunch of diet tea or something so I can pee. Oh, wait, now I've diluted it. That's not good. Or
Yeah.
I drank so much artificial sweetener that I got diarrhea, so I can't piss without pooping. Diarrhea and shit. So no, it's just a fucking nightmare. So I stopped taking Adderall.
Nice. And then Charles shows up and doesn't even listen to us because he's listening to his music. Oh wait, hey Charles.
Oh,
no,
boy.
I was listening to some Goody Mob. I just cut it off because
Oh,
it said live stream is joining like just now. So okay.
Billy
Hey,
Merritt said effective for depression. You talking about Adderall? It is semi-effective for depression. If that's what you're referring to, or maybe something else. I'm watching the chat in another window.
oh okay.
Hi, Charles.
What's up? Yip
Not
yip.
a whole lot. Had some technical difficulties getting Jitsi to connect, but it's going now. Eventually, we may end up using Streamlabs. Those Streamlabs would limit us to 6 people on the stream at one time.
Oh well.
Charles, you need to buy another one of those shirts and send me one.
What, the Transformers?
Of course.
Classic.
That was my toy line. That was my toy line as a kid. I gotta ask my brother. I'm pretty sure we had Megatron, and that's be a super collector's item because now the way Megatron is made, he was a Walther P-38.
Yeah.
I don't think you could legally sell that in the United States anymore.
Well,
No,
I mean, you can still find them on eBay.
You have to transform them. I think that like Paint talked about this.
Yeah.
A year ago because she either bought one or sold one.
Yeah.
And had to or just shipping one. No, she worked at a toy store. That was
you had to transform it.
Yeah, she was working at a toy store and she had to ship it out. So she had to transform it into a robot form and then put it into the box.
Oh,
and then take it out.
Very much.
Take it out.
I think he was reading about depression. He may have been referring to psilocybin. I think that's the mushrooms, if I'm not mistaken.
Psilocybin. Yeah, that's from.
Psilocybin has this. That's how I'm now. Okay.
Yeah, that's hallucinogenic mushrooms usually.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I gotta. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Adrian. It looks
no,
like
I was about to ask a question too.
You may have had Megatron, according to Bedford.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, I just saw something interesting, and I just wanted your thoughts on this real quick.
Purple.
So, according to the GitHub policy account, I don't know if that's legitimate. I mean, it has a check mark, but and I don't know if this is in the news or not, but it just says immigrants have always been vital to the U.S. economy and to GitHub. Potential executive order to temporarily suspend immigration adds uncertainty and anguish for developers, will slow recovery and hinder innovation. We need immigrants to get us through this and help us move forward.
It's GitHub. It's online. Can't immigrants work from wherever they're at?
That's what I thought. That's why I'm confused. Like,
Yeah, and I don't
why?
know.
Everything's a big virtue signal. I don't.
We're cool with immigrants, and that's fine. Just make sure they're here legally. There you go.
Yeah, but no, I just thought it was remote. That's what I was like, huh? Like, what's going on? You know?
Yeah, it depends on how that policy is going to take effect. Because are they going to revoke people's visas for working here right now and just?
From what I was
Oh.
reading, it didn't look like it. If
Okay,
you're here,
cool.
you're going to stay. They're just
You're
preventing
pretty much
people
here,
from
right?
coming
Yeah,
over the next. I think it was 3 months, and then it's going to be
Mhm.
looked at again or
that
reevaluated.
sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks
Dude,
because
that's crazy.
one of my buddies was going to be coming over to the States for studying here for a semester, and that's not happening.
That due to coronavirus probably won't. So
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
just due to that, it probably won't. But due to the immigration side, I think that's just those trying to get
Like
permanent
national-
residency,
yeah.
not necessarily work visas, education, stuff like that. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand. I just didn't know the scope of how wide the breadth was on that.
Right.
it's going to creep a lot. Scope creep.
So we can eventually kick out all Canadians. Let's have a hot dish. Hot dish
Stop.
is cool.
That's the hope.
We can keep hot dish. She's nice, but other than that, we can kick out the rest of the Canadians.
Half my family's Canadian.
Oh,
Or
I said stop.
only if we're allowed to send quite a few Americans that I choose up to Canada.
that. Well, I'm cool with that too. I heard something about was it Madonna or somebody was moving to Portugal? I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. I just remember a lot of people said they were moving a lot of places, and I don't think
They
anybody
didn't do it.
did.
I remember
Yeah.
posting a joke tweet that I said something about if Jill Steins wins, I'm moving to Mexico. But obviously, Jill Steins did not win.
Oh my gosh.
Visa
Yeah.
lottery.
It'll get
roll.
nuttier politically as things go by.
Yeah. I'm just not, like I said, with this whole political climate, it's just weird for me because I'm not really,
Political.
well, I'm not normal, but I'm not.
That's accurate.
But anyway,
Unfortunately, I've been
Yeah,
following
fine.
politics more than I have been following Hacker Circle. So it's not been good for my career. But this crazy shit I've seen, I'm like, it does make me long for the back old days of Reagan, Bush 1, and Clinton, because things seemed simpler back then. But then again, I was also younger.
yeah,
Cigar.
I don't know. I mean, every decade has its demise, right? So I guess this is our demise, just at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm like
I-
on 4-ish.
I mean,
Little over.
I've lived through 9/11. I lived through the crack era. I mean,
The crackheads.
Yeah, and you were in New
Crack.
York area, right?
New York.
Yeah, it was,
crack era.
it was a little bit worse.
Yeah, I was in New York. Yeah, the crack in the 80s. Crack is
Mhm.
whack.
See, I live in Indiana.
Nancy Reagan came in, and yeah.
I live in Indiana. It's a little bit more rural, and
Mhm.
meth is more of an issue in this area in this time period.
Mhm.
'Cause you occasionally hear about a house that blew up because someone made, some bad
Meth labs.
They fucked
Yep.
up the meth lab. Yeah.
We had one guy. This is the first time I ever seen like a. I know this sounds crazy. This is the first time I ever seen a person on meth in person, and they were like, I guess, like making it in their room or whatever, and they had to they had to shut down the dorm or whatever because this dude was making it it's like he was normal when he first came to college. That next semester he was like stoned out of his mind. Like it looked like he wasn't even like real. Like he looked like a robot.
Shoot,
That's
man,
how crazy he looked.
I was sitting there with a friend of mine from college watching TV on Cops, and he's like, "Is that this guy?" Because he knew this dude from like the Air Force or something. Is that him?
Mhm.
Right here? And his friend, who was like this really bright guy, apparently back in the day, was apparently running a meth lab or something, and we saw him in Cops.
That would be awesome. I mean, very sad. Wow.
Wow is right, but yeah.
That reminds me of the
Barry
first.
Merritt's talking about he apparently met Bush 41, Damn it. First George
He
Bush.
said he was friends with Barbara. He was friend.
His mother.
Said he's friends with
Oh,
Barbara Bush. His
that's cool.
mother. My mother was friends with
So
Barbara Bush.
technically,
That's cool.
we say 41.
Yeah.
Our numbers are a little off because there was one president. I'm trying to remember which one it was. That he was a president. Then he got someone else won the election. Then he won again later on. So technically, calling like
Mhm.
Trump 45 is not technically accurate. He's not the 45th president or 35th person to be president. There was one guy who was a president. Then he wasn't the president. Then he was the president again. I'm trying to remember what the guy's name was.
Taft?
Was it
Maybe?
Taft?
I just remember it was
I
a
think
very
so.
weird race for that one.
But it's like I said, it's just all this. Every decade has its demise. We're just in ours in the early part, so we might as well just buckle up, have fun, the best that you can, and yeah,
Bit your teeth and bite down on the
ride
lemon.
it out. Yeah, bite down on it hard. Rawr!
Bite down on
Put some
it.
growl in it.
Bite
Yeah.
down on it.
So speaking of biting down, let's get into some breaches.
Sweet.
Charles wants some breeches in his britches.
Ooh, I ain't heard breeches in a long time. I miss my grandmother. Boy, put your breeches on.
That's right.
That's that Tennessee. That was that was Tennessee. Put your
Heck
breeches on.
yeah. Okay, first up, the city of Torrance in California near LA has suffered, got hit with ransomware. So, yeah, that demanded 100 Bitcoin, which that sucks.
Yeah.
Grover Cleveland.
Hi.
If it says Grover Cleveland, he's big in American history. That was the guy who apparently had like a split 2 terms, but different. There was someone in between them.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's see. Claim. So Doppelpaymer Group claimed responsibility using its DoppelLeak site to publish samples of the stolen data, which reportedly includes city budget financials, accounting documents, and an archive of documents belonging to the city manager and more. And as of the article, which was 12 hours ago, 100 Bitcoin would be about $700,000. The gang reportedly got about 200 plus gigs of data.
That's insane.
With nobody noticing 200 gigs going out the front door.
Or
Depends
did
on
they
how
notice and
much,
just didn't want to say nothing?
Yeah, that's the other point.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
CYA, yo.
Yeah,
Like-
and two, that is a valid point because there are a lot of leaks out there. You know, there's been Ashley Madison leaks, there's been Adult Friend Finder leaks, all these kind of sexually oriented leaks, and there is blackmail that occurs. If they go through, find a company email address, and then start researching you some and find, oh, hey, look, you have a wife and kids, and you were on Ashley Madison, and we're going to send you an email.
Oriented leak. I have those sometimes.
Yeah. And so send you a thing. Hey, we got you on here. Here's your information from Ashley Madison. Either you press this, click this button, open the attachment, go to our website, download the software, and run it internally, and maybe have to take a security training class at most, or we're going to divulge this information to your wife. It's like got about 100% success rate. So very well could have been an inside person.
It's the CD episode in Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
The dude literally is just selling CDs, giving away his mixtape. There you go. And then he blackmails them later. It's like, you already put this in here. Now you just got to do it again.
That's right. Okay, next up, Cognizant.
Yeah.
Suffers Maze ransomware. And first off, Cappy, you added this. We both added at the same time, but we're going with yours. How many employees does Cognizant have globally?
300,000.
Yeah.
So Cognizant is one of the largest IT managed services companies in the world, and they have close to 300,000 employees, and also generate $15 billion in revenue. So yeah, just waiting for the Office theme to end. So this showed up on Friday. Cognizant began emailing their clients, stating that they had been compromised and included a quote preliminary list of indicators of compromise identified through our investigation. So, from what I understand from this article is, and also from what I've just heard around in different circles, is they think that they could have gotten access to some sort of other sensitive information about actual clients. So this might actually spread outward into a bunch of other smaller companies or just any of the companies that they service.
Yeah, not even necessarily smaller companies.
It depends on who they're servicing. And since they're a very large IT corp,
yeah. I think they're Fortune 500. But yeah, they're massive. 300,000 employees. And I guarantee there's a lot of companies who have outsourced the entirety of their IT to Cognizant. They may have individual employees on site with some of their customers. Like they're going to be fairly ingrained, and so it's going to be interesting to see what the fallout of this is. How deep the attackers were able to get.
Yeah. So, and there are a lot of scared companies right now. Let's just say that. That's all I can say.
I bet.
But there is a YARA rule for something. For those out there, they also have some signatures out there as well. We've been compiling signatures, at least on my side. So it's gonna be okay, maybe, as long as we keep our due diligence here. And so does Cognizant, if they are Cognizant. Yes, irony. All right. So that's it for ransomware because there's all the ransomware. 23 million Webkins accounts leaked.
Yeah, so this kind of sucks. But yeah, bad actor leaks 23 million account credentials from Webkins children's platform.
Hello, Dickie.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, according to Under the Breach, hey, shh, be quiet. Daddy's talking. A bad actor posts a 1 gig file containing approximately 23 million usernames, along with the hashed passwords of players enjoying the Webkins world variety of online kids games. Webkins tweeted out on April 19th that it does not appear to. The platform does not appear to acknowledge the data breach or leak. We are aware of a story today alleging a data breach. Your account security is of utmost importance to us, and we are investigating thoroughly. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, if you as a parent or your kids are on Webkins, I would definitely go update everything immediately. And again, do not reuse passwords on different sites.
Yep.
And if, hopefully, at minimum, they come out of this implementing some type of multi-factor. Today, I had to sign into a couple things today because my old password expired. I am so tired of passwords. It is just so much easier doing any type of multi-factor than, because, too, my passwords are like 25, 30 plus characters. And granted, I do use a password manager, but still having multi-factor and just approving a request, like I'd rather have it the same password till the end of time and have my secondary, whether it's a token or my phone, an app, whatever the case may be, and never change passwords again.
Yeah, and sadly though, with Webkins, I don't see that happening because that's geared towards very young children.
Well, I mean, they could have it. be the the parent or the guardian,
Exactly.
multi-factor it. And
yeah.
two, that adds another layer of, hey, you're not on this device for 12 hours a day, and gives the parents some control too. Maybe they already have some of that built in. I don't know, but
My dad called that the router.
well, yeah.
Set up a static IP and it's like, and here's your Windows.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad. I figured out what the admin password was.
Yeah, I feel really sorry for my son. Well, both the boys eventually. That's just not going to be pleasant for them.
You're gonna have to be the dad that has to monitor and figure out how to aggregate VPN traffic to figure out where they're actually surfing the web.
Yeah, they got to be able to get on the network to even start to think about doing that. I'm thinking about making like a restricted group where the group can only access, the internet X amount of time per day, because he's already on the iPad probably, I don't know, 2 hours a day. And he's a freaking 2-year-old. It's like, holy crap, come on. Like, yeah, we're putting it into that. And two, most of the stuff he does is like educational games and watching, some YouTube stuff, or YouTube Kids. But yeah, that would be fun.
It's a weird world that we're living in. When I was growing up, it was just computers and that was it. Like laptops, and didn't get one until much later. And then now it's like, okay, cool, just give the kid an iPad. It's like, I remember when iPads came out. It's revolutionary-ish. I was like,
yes.
This is going to get boring like in 5 minutes. And it did.
And Caprico still loves it.
Nope. I have my iPad, my Gen 1 iPad somewhere.
Oh, I had a Gen 1 iPad. I don't know what it is. I have a Gen 2 iPad also. It has like the DerbyCon 1 logo on it.
Nice.
It's around, but it doesn't function anymore.
That is the one badge that I don't have from DerbyCon, when they were like offloading all of the extra badges that they had from all over the years. I have all of them except for one.
Adrian, you could use it as a chopping board.
Yeah, it's aluminum.
I had a bunch of extra badges over the years, but I gave them all away to the video crew the last year.
True. Though I was referring to the iPad, but yes, I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't use the badge as a chopping board. Okay, next up. What do we got? SBA, Small Business Association. So they have been compromised. Their website, I believe it is. And that is affecting 7,900 applicants for economic injury disaster loans. Part of the stuff that's been going around with the stimulus package. So, some of the information that it looks like was included are social security numbers, income amounts, names, addresses, and contact information. They did not disclose how the breach occurred, though. So I don't know if it was only the website, but they got into a database with some very sensitive data.
Have you guys tried to, or you guys have gotten your stimulus checks, I'm assuming, right?
I did.
Yes.
Okay. So
I think I made too much in 2018 for it to count.
Yeah. I'm still eligible, but apparently the thing is just broken. So with that information there, you have enough information to make a bank transfer through the IRS to get that stimulus check. Because I had to fill out, and that is exactly the same amount of information that I had to fill out for it to say this is not the correct information. And I'm literally staring at my W-2 and my like refunds and also what I owed from like, I'm looking at 2 different years of taxes. And I'm like, I am putting in the exact amounts. You are dumb.
Yeah, that's like similar to whenever the Social Security Administration, whenever you sign up whatever their site is, which I definitely advise everybody signing up, getting your information linked to you, just so nobody else can. Because then you can go in, you can see your earnings over the years, what your estimated blah, blah, blah at retirement is. But 2, if somebody else is able to get that data, now they have it.
Yeah.
And you don't. And I guarantee it'd be a huge pain in the ass trying to prove you are who you are if somebody else gets it before you.
Here's a copy of my passport, my birth certificate, my social security card, and also here's a picture of my face.
Yeah. They're like, we don't care. Somebody else gave us the social before you did.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever I signed up there, I actually did have to provide some information, like you just said. It was like what my tax payment or refund or something was for the previous year or something like that.
Yeah, like that's the only thing that they might have to be weird about with. But I mean, if you can figure out how to calculate that, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how refunds work because then it matters on like state tax, city tax, because different cities are taxed differently in different state level, and that's
well. But whenever they're talking refund, they're only going to be talking federal. But then 2, with a lot of people using Tax Act and TurboTax and all these others, if you get in somebody's email and compromise it, decent chance you're going to be able to get into their tax information as well.
Yeah, you hit like one of those TurboTax accounts, you're basically golden.
Yeah.
Imagine if like a bug bounty drops on TurboTax where someone was able to figure out how to manipulate authentication or cookies or account cookies, session cookies. That's what I'm looking for, and just like ping around all the different accounts and just have that's so much money.
Oh, I was thinking just SQL injection, but okay, yeah, we'll go your way too.
That is so much money because you can just append the bank account and just say, "Hey, this is me," instead of, "Can you move it to this account?"
Well, go in database side and change
because databases get audited.
Well, yeah.
Databases of transaction databases are.
Hey, that money's not going to stay in that account hardly, 10, 15 seconds. So
yeah, but if it looks like it comes from the application, they're not going to catch that. That's a general thing that happens.
That's true.
Yeah, something from the application modifying a SQL database table. Yeah, that's going to get noticed.
Maybe. Well, definitely a TurboTax. I'm guessing.
But
now, I feel like this is 100% straight up Office Space right now. It's supposed to be microsense. Oh shit! Oh shit! We're gonna be going to federal pound me in the ass prison.
My red stapler.
Yes. I used to have a red stapler, which I am curious what happened to that thing.
That was the joke, or one of the many jokes that my dad bought me when I went to college. He bought me a Oriental print rug, so it was just like this cheap rug, and he was like, "Okay, here's the dude rug, and then here's a red stapler."
Nice.
And he just kept buying all the jokes. And then my mother got involved.
Really?
Yeah, she bought me the actual cardigan, which has gone up in price.
That's awesome.
So like his wool cardigan I've got there, and it's like, that is not cheap.
From Office Space?
No, from Big Lebowski.
Oh, oh yeah, the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've almost done the printer scene a couple times at work.
Who is it? I just heard somebody the other day say they bought an extra printer just so because they were gonna be doing the printer scene, and I can't remember who it was. Some company I talked to, I think maybe, but yeah, somebody was here very soon going to be replaying that for some reason. So I was like, more power to you. That's awesome.
Team
Ev-
building exercise.
Exactly. Every field needs a multifunctional copier / printer in the middle of it for a farmer to run over and disk it. I totally agree.
Yes. Always. All right. Next, we've got a leak that Liz is actually in chat for, and he brought this to my attention. TF2 or Team Fortress 2 source code got leaked.
Oh, Team Fortress? Really?
Yeah.
I used to
Okay.
play this like 15 years ago.
Oh, wait. Nope. It got redacted. All right. So
The source code was leaked, but there's a whole lot of people freaking out over it because they don't know what the fuck that actually means.
Yeah.
Now we've been
When I
demonetized 3 times.
first saw it on Twitter, someone said the source engine code was leaked, and then someone was saying there's an RCE out for source, and if you join the same server as someone exploiting it, you're popped. I've seen no actual evidence of this being true or not, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing on my feed.
For everything I've read, said there's actually no active RCEs, just there's been a source code leak. So in theory, that makes it easier to develop an RCE, but that's also predicating upon there actually being an exploit to exploit in the first place.
With something as massive as source, there's going to be exploits.
Oh yeah, but it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take weeks to find it, so we're not gonna see it today.
Well, but too, I mean, it depends. Source code, like, this is not a young, fresh game. This is old. So
No, well, no.
like,
You're thinking of the original Team Fortress. This is Team Fortress 2, which came out in the Source engine. This came out like last 10 years or so.
yeah,
Source
but
So pretty
but
old.
two, that's what I'm wondering is like, how old is this current revision of the code? You know,
The
is
code.
this 10 years ago or is
No,
it?
no, no. We know
Recent?
that the code that was found was from 2017/2018, so it's only a few years old, and it's actually a fork of the 2013 Source SDK branch, which is public. So it's pretty well known code by this point.
Oh, okay. So it's not like highly secretive.
Yeah,
No.
back in 2013 to 2015, most of the big game engines, so Source, Unity, and Unreal, a couple years later, they all went open source on their stuff, so you can have more independent developers working on it, and then you have to pay for licensing later, so you can develop the game on your own and then sell it later, blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's how they make their money.
Yeah, so
Because Unity is stupidly expensive.
yeah, but it's also one of the easier
Yeah.
ones to pick up. In IMO, because I was a Unity dev for like a semester, and that was it. So just because this thread in the show notes has been open or has been updated a couple times, just to clarify this, Team Fortress 2 source code may not have been leaked after all, according to the source below. And then there was another update saying TF2 source code confirmed, not leaked. What filtered is really just shared code with the CSGO leak. See this public source, which is a link there. So CSGO is apparently the leak, which
Yeah.
is
Well, it's the
a bit-
same. It's the same code that
Yeah.
both CS:GO and Team Fortress 2. It's not the actual source engine. It's
Yeah.
just the derivative used for CS:GO and TF2.
Yeah. Yep. So it's probably going to be like, how do hitboxes work in CS:GO? But in CS:GO, big game right now, and I think ESL, their league just started,
Yeah.
or European sport or esport league. They just started, I believe, on the EU side their season, and I think NA is going now. So we might see something really funny on stream, but
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably see cheats and various other goofs develop, but nothing that can probably pop someone's computer from joining a server. Steam actually has a very big bug bounty program that would actually they pay very well for those things. So if someone finds a bug, it will get patched, especially with something as big as CS:GO, because that's a big money maker for them. They don't want that. They don't want that to be going tits up.
yeah, no, and it probably won't, and because in the nature of how CS:GO, at least even in the tournaments, are going to happen, is even with COVID, everything's going to that single server that someone is actively on and actively watching. And if you were to exploit something on a game, you'd have to be on the server to do something to the effect of an RCE. You'd have to be literally sitting with a shell on that server and then injecting network packets into different clients that would then, at least in theory, give you a shell on their box. But even then, that's insanely difficult to pull off, and also that's a lot of uptime or upkeep.
It's one of those ones where it will be used in conjunction with something else against a targeted person. So if you're gonna face it, you're gonna face being facing hacks from other locations too. It's not something that they're gonna just use this. No, they're gonna be using everything they can to try and own you because you are a high value target or you have specific value to that organization.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be like me or Israel. Israel maybe. He's got a bit more capital than I do, so probably Israel. He's also a shady dude.
Adrian.
Shady? What? Me? Huh?
Yes. He heard shady. He knew exactly that I was going to be bringing him up.
Anyways, but yeah. So you won't be targeted, or like your general gamer, like you're not going to get targeted. If anything, it's just going to add more cheats to the system. And then Source use BattleEye? I can't remember. Or Valve use BattleEye? Can't remember. No, they use VAC. The guys that develop VAC.
Valve anti-cheat, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, they don't use BattleEye.
No, Valve uses their own system. BattleEye is mostly used by Arma, I believe, and probably a few others, but I know Arma's one of the bigger users of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Tarkov? Yeah, okay.
Tarkov's got it now, and they are failing miserably.
Well, that's no surprise there.
Well, yeah, and the thing was, like, BattleEye used to have, like, COD, Battlefield, like, they were everywhere back in, like, the early 2000s. Like, you had to have BattleEye.
I thought that was, like, Punkbuster, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it was.
Okay.
I remember one.
Because, yeah, Punkbuster was huge. Everyone had that.
Yeah, but then...
And then it pretty much died because I think it kind of became worthless.
Yeah, I think a couple of the devs ended up leaving, and also there were so many games coming out that wanted to use it that they were like, can't. The gaming industry exploded, and all the anti-cheat devs are just like, can't do nothing.
On the side of a cheating, I put a YouTube video in the link there. It's a very old video, but it's yeah, talking about CS cheating and whatnot. Yeah.
I'll have to watch that. I think I've seen that one, but
you probably have. It's from like 2002. It's really old.
It's really old, yeah. 18 years. Okay, so that's TF2, or not TF2. I clickbaited you.
So TLDR, source code's leaked, but it's not doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Resume normal operations.
Yeah. Go play your video games. If you see a hacker, Steam is good on the reporting feature. So, or if you see a cheater.
If you see a cheater, just leave them some milk and cookies and let them go their way.
Yeah, milk and cookies in the form of a malicious document that says court affidavit for cheating.
Oh, I sent Barry an invite to the stream if he wants to join. He's making a lot of comments in the chat. It might be easy just to talk to the guy if he wants to make some comments.
Sure.
I've interacted with him on Twitter a whole lot for a while. He's a pretty cool dude.
And Teammaker, yes. He probably will be capsized before long. He's gotten a lot bigger.
I'm talking about you or the kid.
Yeah. Teammaker, loser, who's not on tonight live. Such a brat.
Yeah. Oh, and my brat in the form of a cat is just meowing away. All right.
I had chili for supper. I am so happy right now.
Nice. All
It was
right.
good.
Next up, we're into info data / stats, I guess.
Side.
Whatever. This is more of a leak again, but it's also one of those this is how little it costs for me to get your Facebook account. 267 million Facebook accounts sold for $600 on the dark web.
Yeah, so did you look into this one that much?
Not quite as much. I saw this a little bit, I believe last week I started to hear rumblings of it.
Yeah.
And from what I understand from this is it's username, or full username, their user's full name, their phone number, and unique Facebook ID. And not sure how we can get that or where that comes into play. I mean, it's going to be phishing material for sure, but it's not like your password.
Like, from what I started seeing, it's looking like this may have been, a decent scraper that somebody made, right? But was scraping public profiles. And the hacker may be reselling public data from some of the accounts that I've read.
Lol. I mean,
just packaged it very nicely, right?
It's like collections 1 through whatever.
Yeah, because this also happens a lot. We all, court records are public, right? Except it's difficult to go through all the different jurisdictions, all the different counties, all these different courts, and get all this data. So whenever there's a company who takes all this public data, consolidates it into a single search platform, that's worth money. And we see this done legitimately. So, somebody may have done the same thing with Facebook, taken all these public profiles where they haven't locked down their data and have 600 million, right? Or how many records?
267 million.
Yeah, so 250 million records that are publicly searchable with, somewhat decent data in it, indexes it, puts a nice bow on it, and will present it to you for $600.
Well, I mean, that's also great for like OSINT and iteration or numeration. Let's say you're trying to find John Smith and you want all the unique IDs of John Smith, and you know that he lives in Saskatchewan or something like that. I don't know, I'm making stuff up as I go. And you get like hometown information.
Yeah, but where was Pocahontas at? Oh, wait, she's no longer running for president. Never mind.
Oh, shit. And they took her off the land of Lake's butter, too. Damn, she's having a hard year.
Oh, my gosh.
I had to, you said John Smith, so it's like I had to throw Adrian a bone.
I totally didn't get that, why that came up, but now I'm like, oh, duh. But not a huge deal right now. Just watch your Facebook accounts, especially if you got it public facing or a lot of public facing stuff.
Yeah, and you didn't lock it down for nothing.
Yeah, for the last 20 years or so, or well.
And two, just realize that this is not the first time this has happened. This is one of a ton of times. Just most don't get sold. Most groups keep and consolidate this data and keep it to themselves. They don't, or they make it available for free, which I've also seen similar data go completely for free based off of public web scrapes. So Yeah. I'd say the amount of phishing, amount of phone calls will probably increase. But if you've had your information, especially on Facebook, open with with very little privacy, enforcements made, you've been getting phished and spam way, way before now.
Yeah, just looking through some of the other links that article links out to. It's good info. It's good info for like if you're gonna OSINT someone or open source intelligence someone, and it's some pretty good stuff.
Oh, speaking of which, shameless plug, the gentleman Adrian, who was on last Thursday.
Tyrone Williams, I believe his name.
Yes, some of his OSINT stuff that he went through on the
Hoosier HackerCon
webinar was really good. So
you go to Hoosier HackerCon, HoosierHacker.com. There's a link on there underneath the webinars and CPEs top of the menu.
Yeah. Good discussion.
Yeah, next up is I hope I'm not mispronouncing her name, Amelia Coran.
Earhart. Oh, wait. Yeah, I think I know that person.
I may be mispronouncing her name because she has a diacritic in the E or something, and so that makes it a little different. If she listens to this, I'm sorry. But yeah, she's speaking this week, tomorrow night. Scott set that up, and we're still looking for more speakers. Scott's the one actually running most of the webinars, but I'm helping him find some more speakers. If anybody here wants to speak, let me know, because we're looking for people to run it all the way to September, and we hope we don't have to cancel that particular conference.
Or delay it.
Yeah.
That depends on the conditions of the hotel.
Yeah.
Either way, the people who are financially backing that conference, we won't say who that person is.
It's Caprico. Cat's out of the bag.
Caprico has $8,000 to drop on a freaking hotel space, which is actually cheap for a hotel space.
Hey, Cappy, we appreciate that too.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into that trust fund.
Hopefully that doesn't fall through, but we'll see how this coronavirus fucking thing goes. Yeah, I'm demonetizing my own channel.
And two, if it does get to that point, I'm sure the hotel is going to have something in place where, the main benefactor doesn't lose all of that. Right?
Well, they checked in on that, and it's unknown at this point. If it was happening next month, yes, they have something in place. If it's happening in late September, don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Ticket sales could currently be better, but I think a lot of people, because of the coronavirus, are not necessarily, pledging to go to a conference right now.
Yeah.
So it's a bad system of events.
Yeah.
And agreed.
Yeah,
Twitter,
I've not yet bought a ticket. I was going to, but then this all started, and I've just been distracted.
I don't think you'd have to buy a ticket. Someone would probably put you on video crew or something.
Yeah, and Barry, Twitter likes are tough to crack. I agree.
The live beef, if you want to be on video crew, I can talk to the right people and probably get you on video crew there.
Yeah, forget it. I'll keep that in mind.
You just got to make sure this time press the button to record. I mean, come on. It was not that hard.
So many buttons.
See, 2 years ago, you would have been offended. Thankfully, you've started to get that I'm a little sarcastic once in a while. Love it.
Me?
Yeah, who? You? Yes.
Israel, you're not
Relatively
wrong. You're
little
just an
offensive.
asshole. Some more Big Lebowski trivia. That's what I should do from now on. I'll just start inserting lines from Lebowski and see how many people that watch it actually notice.
That's right.
All right. 3D printing nobody's finger to use it on my phone. So that was just the idea that I had after I saw the title for this. And also, this was shown on one of the later seasons or last season of Mr. Robot, where they 3D print a thumbprint and use it to bypass some. I think they take the security guard's thumbprint and then print a finger on it, and they also got it done in less than an hour. Which, if you've 3D printed anything, you know that takes like, even something that small still will take like maybe an hour, especially at that detail. It would take like an hour or two at the minimum.
Maybe they printed it in 3 sections and then super glued it together
But then you're gonna have
with 3
deformities
separate printers.
You're still gonna have deformities because
You are a deformity.
Yes, I know. I'm a hacker. That's the point of me in general. I'm a deformity of society.
That's the hope and dream.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, new research used 3D printing technology to bypass fingerprint scanners and tested it against Apple, Samsung, and Microsoft mobile products. New research has found that it's possible to use 3D printing technology to create fake fingerprints that can bypass fingerprint scanners. Blah, 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 blah. Researchers with Cisco Talos created different threat models that use 3D printing technology and then tested them on mobile devices, including the iPhone 8, Samsung S10, laptops including Samsung Note 9, Lenovo Yoga, and the HP Pavilion X360, and smart devices such as a smart padlock, which we know there's so much R&D that goes into those.
Oh, yeah.
The fake fingerprints achieved an 80% success rate on average, where the sensors were bypassed at least once.
Really?
This is not that new. I mean,
it's not.
Like 5, 6, 7 years ago. But like 7 or 8 years ago, when there was news report saying hackers took a high-resolution picture of Obama waving to the crowd and made replicas of his fingerprints. And there's various talks from the Chaos Communications Congress about, here's a smartphone. There's fingerprint smudges on it. I'm going to take that and 3D print a fingerprint and unlock the phone.
Yeah, I don't do fingerprint stuff ever.
I think it's just getting traction because Cisco is talking about it, and
but too, I thought with a lot of the phone, granted, I know over the years you've been able to just like take a copy, paper copy, and then you had to modify that, to no longer just be a paper copy, but actually get some ridges and everything, But I thought the phones at least were to the point where they were sensing heat as well.
Yeah, so the way you get around that is you print it in nylon and wrap it around your finger, and then...
Oh, okay.
No, I've always heard of people just breathe on it and then press it down.
Yeah, I mean, that would work too. I mean, but you could just take your thumb and print it in nylon, and nylon is a flexible material when 3D printed, I believe. And it has the same consistency, close enough to human skin, so it'll just oil it up a bit and put it on your thumb. And,
ooh, yeah, baby. That sounds like a good time right there.
Yeah, me and my 3D printer.
And your finger. Woo, saucy.
Get those motors whirring.
Oh, yeah.
I want the dude that makes those he uses like floppy disks and hard drives and old printers to make cover songs of like Queen songs and all the other stuff. I want him to get a 3D printer and just make it so that it's just a 3D printer that then starts playing a song, at least the melody.
That'd be interesting. Hey, what happened to our theme song here?
I still have it. I just don't have my soundboard set up anymore.
Oh.
So
how has the computer rebuild gone? You got all your drivers in place now, and
mostly, yeah. I finally got the this all set up again, so
this. So you can change background.
This is just camera stuff, so
you can do what you can do within Zoom.
No,
now with Jitsi.
I don't like it. I don't like the virtual background. I do it as a meme.
Oh, I like virtual backgrounds. They're fun, or at least they can be fun.
I like the one. I have this one for Zoom. It's like coronavirus floating around behind me,
I like that.
but I don't have anything set up on my Mac to instantly do that. If you know of good software, let me know.
Oh, meow. Speaking of that, where'd Charles go? Such a brat.
He had to take care
Meow.
of something. All right. But yeah, okay. So vulnerable stuff. I'm kind of gonna spitball this new section in the show notes called Layer 8. And if you're unfamiliar with what Layer 8 is,
Can we just call it stupid human tricks?
no, because
Why?
even those have more dignity than some of these
Oh,
breaches. For those,
okay.
I feel bad for people that actually can do like stupid human tricks. So preserving your dignity. Anyway, so layer 8 is human security failures. So dear God, what is that?
I'm a pickle. And see, this is crap I do on my morning call with like 15 people every single day. And then once they all start going back to the office, we will no longer be having that morning call, and my life will go back to normal, where it stays exactly the same way it's always been, even with coronavirus.
Get this staying at home. God, that just like creeped me out even more.
Let me see what other. Oh, here we go. There. How's this? Is that any better?
No. Just...
Hey, yeah.
All right. Anyway, layer 8 is when you get phished or you let someone into a building that you're not. That kind of stuff, like human psychological security fails, blah blah blah. Phishing goes under there. That's kind of why I threw it in here, because there was a lot of stuff about phishing. So oil industries targeted by phishing. Spear phishing campaigns are targeting oil and gas companies with spyware. Agent Tesla is the one that is the InfoStealer malware payload, and Agent Tesla is a .NET based and commercially available info stealing program since at least 2014 that comes with keylogging and remote access Trojan capabilities, or RAT capabilities. This info stealer is also used for collecting system info, stealing clipboard contents, as well as killing malware analysis related processes and antivirus solutions. So it's even got antivirus.
Yeah, you know what I kind of miss? Screen caps.
Oh yeah.
You know, because a lot of the ones like these that just had a small collection of a lot of different things used to always take screen captures, right? And nobody's doing screen caps anymore. It's really kind of disappointing.
I mean, it probably does, but I wouldn't want my news outlet to say, hey, this does screen capture too, because then everyone and their mother is going to be freaking out.
That could be. Hopefully. We're really hoping that it does screen caps.
It's a shame that the word keylogger has fallen out of fashion, because that used to got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Then, ever since it got reburned into analytics, it's kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, and everybody gets all pissy whenever you throw a keylogger on an employee's system. Come on, really?
When your internet history is now in your keyboard.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Okay, so the way that they're getting in, so that's the dropper, or the payload. While the attacks aren't as sophisticated as others that have previously targeted energy companies, their timing is on point that they were active before and during a week-long marathon of meetings and calls between the OPEC Plus alliance and the group of 20 nations that ended with a historic deal to cut the global petroleum output. Just like that oil man on screen right now.
Yeah, doggy.
Okay. Didn't even see your mouth move. That's weird. In one of the spearfishing campaigns, the threat actors impersonated and abused the reputation of the Egyptian state oil company Oh boy, PPI, Energy for Petroleum and Processing Industries, or Process Industries, an engineering contractor with experience in both onshore and offshore oil and gas projects. So basic kind of stuff, and they're just shooting for the fences, just like Israel right now. God, that is so distracting, man. They're still going, even though you're.
I know.
Oh my God. But
Okay, there we go.
anyway, energy sector is becoming an increasing target. Yes, we've been calling this for like the past
Ever.
5 years. Yeah.
Well, but honestly, here over the next few weeks, I'm expecting to see, at least against gas and natural gas, a lot of the attacks start to lessen down, as there may not be as much money in it, just due to current prices.
I would almost say that makes it more of a target.
I don't think so.
Well, think of the first people that they're gonna, or like, I don't know.
Because like right
it's
now,
a stressful situation.
If I'm an attacker, like I'm going to be going against a lot of these investment companies heavily. And I'm sure there's some like nation state, who are still going to be targeting the energy sector. But if I am an attack group looking to gain financially right now, I'm probably going to be starting to target more like the hedge funds, and different types of investments, because we're starting to see like a roll up, and I think we're going to start seeing just a larger landscape, or more people attacking that landscape here very, very shortly. Well, you remember here, what was it, a year and a half, 2 years ago, where there were trades going through, stock trades going through, and I don't remember if it was actual like stocks or ETFs or bonds or what. It wouldn't have been bonds. There's jack money there, but whoever the group was, they were on the pipe, but they were able to get the transactions in a much shorter span, like actual data span. And so they were able to intercept the transaction, see that, and then send it on through, and were able to capitalize knowing what transaction was going to its final destination, and send their information up there and get a buy or sell in before, this initial transaction finally made it through.
Yeah, I remember that story. That was someone, some third-party contractor, I think, or contractor or company or whatever. They let someone in that shouldn't have been in, and they tapped the fiber line.
Yeah,
because I remember it was at the Wall Street stock exchange. It was at actually inside the stock exchange. Yeah, someone actually put a wire or a fiber.
But the way they did it was like completely legal. They didn't get fined. They didn't get anything for that. The way they did it was fully legal, which was holy cow. I mean, you will never ever get closer to a fortune teller than that right there.
Yeah, right.
You have, okay, this is going to happen. Okay, well, I'm going to pull right out in front of you and get there just in time, right before you get there, and then you can show up and ta-da! I just made a shit ton of money. That was ingenious. We will probably never see that again, but man, that was nice. I mean, in a bad, horrible way, because that's bad.
It's not like the stock market has ever had any form of cheating ever.
Oh, never. Ever. And two, like I've been very, very closely watching the energy sector over the last week or two, just because not only do we have Corona-chan, or whatever, China-chan, coronavirus, Kung Flu. Yeah, that's the one I like, actually.
My favorite is Winnie the Flu. Here's my take on that. Saying Chinese virus, I don't think it's racist because they come from China, but there's a lot of viruses that come from China and other places, so that's too nondescript. Wuhan virus is probably better because it comes from a particular region of China.
Or Wuhan flu.
But my favorite is still Winnie the Flu because what Xi Jinping, the head guy of China, is he president? What title do they use for the top guy? President?
I think he's either president or premier, one of the two.
The government is the one that was responsible. So calling it Winnie the Flu, I think, is the funniest fucking thing.
I prefer.
It's also people. I think someone probably unfriended me on Facebook over that. But I call it Winnie the Flu. Winnie the Flu is my favorite one.
If you really want to get offensive, you call it the sweet and sour chicken.
Yeek. I'm a back up. I'm back away.
Disavow. Capricorn disavows.
It's I'm just gonna quietly go back.
He's longer. Where to go?
I did see something that Kim Jong-un, he's the young one, right?
Yes.
Il was the dad.
Yeah, he's only like 36 and he had like a heart problems or something. They did some surgery on him.
Yeah,
They haven't heard from him in a while, so they're kind of worried. Okay, what the fuck's going on with North Korea?
Yeah, I was just wondering, if since they've had, that one case of Wuhan in North Korea.
That one case, yeah.
that one singular case.
Well, I mean, granted, they've had that one case quite a few times.
Not saying the size of people in North Korea versus South Korea is majorly different because of nutrition and so forth.
Yeah.
If Winnie the Flu gets into North Korea, it's going to fuck a lot of people up. Some bad shit's going to happen. I see people like Tim Pool predicting that there might be some war shit going on. Yeah, bad shit might be happening.
I don't know. I think North Korea realizes, at least I feel like he realizes where his place is. And it's not in the victory circle of being in a war.
There's a guy named Michael Malice who talks about North Korea a lot. They have a weird cult of personality thing going on there. I'm not sure what the hell is going to happen with that shit.
Could be interesting.
But yeah, watch Michael Malice. Michael Malice is an interesting individual.
I like Michael Myers.
Not the same guy, but Michael Myers I like also as far as entertainment films.
Now I have to listen to Cult of Personality.
Cult of Personality. Living Color. That is a good fucking metal band.
Yeah. Love it.
I haven't heard from anything from them for a while, but I need to go back and listen to some Living Color.
See, now that I'm paying attention to it, yeah, I'm pretty sure, Adrian, you demonetized the channel like consistently.
Probably, but it's not like I necessarily need the money. Though I did lose a lot of money in the recent economic crash.
I'm actually not horrible. I think I'm down maybe about 10% from this time last year.
Oh, dude, I'm probably down maybe a third, maybe not quite that.
Okay.
I'm making money. If
You know what I say? Don't if you're not down until you sell.
Yep.
That is true. And Live Beef is our resident Jewish individual, so he is the person
He's the monetary expert.
It's gonna recover.
To be stereotypical.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it totally will. Plus, at least if you're talking 401k, you should still be getting X. At least I expect you're still getting dividends during this time span.
I got various investments all over the place I don't know about. The ones I track are the E-Trade and the ones I got through a particular financial advisor I inherited from my uncle when he passed away.
Yeah.
Besides that, I inherited from my uncle guns.
Exactly.
Guns.
Which,
you see that? You remember that scene from The Matrix where the guns like come in on racks?
Yes.
That's like it was like going to my uncle's house. I sold most of them because I can't take care and oil and keeping maintenance all those. But damn, Uncle collected a lot of guns.
Nice.
His things though was more classic guns and sometimes movie guns because he had Dirty
I like
Harry.
some classics.
He had Dirty Harry's gun with a larger, longer barrel. He also had a James Bond's gun, the PPK.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was a dumb fucking soul because I thought the caliber wasn't particularly common. But one of my buddies tells me that it is more told me it was more common than actually it.
It's not a 9x18, is it? What?
It's a 32 ACP, but in Europe they call it something different.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't recognize it when I saw it on the slide, so I sold the thing because I thought, well, and I have a really nice 32 Smith & Wesson snubby.
Yeah.
It's really nice looking, and it's a cool little gun. I know the ammunition for it's kind of expensive for what it is because it's not that common. So that's why I sold the PPK. And in hindsight, I wish I kept the PPK.
Yep.
All right, off of my gun nut rant.
It's all good.
Your question regarding what would happen, your earlier question regarding North Korea about what would happen if Kim Jong-un died?
Nothing.
Military would most likely take over.
I've also heard his sister might be the next in line to take over. Does he have any children? He's awfully young. He's only 36. His children will be so young. I don't know. They'd put that.
Basically, it's the military does control a good deal of North Korea. So,
but if the military were to take over, I would expect at least somebody within the military to rise up, and we'd still end up seeing a type of dictatorship. I don't think. They
already have a great deal of influence over life in North Korea as it is.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know how much exactly would change, but
yeah,
if there is no heir, if that is of age to actually take over military.
Yeah. And then somebody within the military ultimately.
Well, there's world politics for the day. Next up, food gets you clicking. So state-backed phishing targets government employees with fast food lures. Okay. More than a dozen state-backed hacking programs are actively targeting U.S. government employees and healthcare organizations in phishing campaigns that use lures designed to take advantage of fears surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. Quote, Tag has specifically identified over a dozen government-backed attacker groups using COVID-19 themes as lures for phishing and malware attempts, trying to get their targets to click malicious links and download files. Google Threat Analysis Group's director Shane Huntley said in a blog post. So the free fast food for passwords. Out of these ongoing attacks, threat analysts at Google highlighted a phishing campaign that employed fast food lures to redirect targeted U.S. government employees to landing pages asking for their credentials. Quote, some messages offered free meals and coupons in response to COVID-19. Others suggested recipients visit sites disguised as online ordering and delivery options.
Watch out, Panera Bread.
Yeah. Continued quotes. Once people click on the emails, they were presented with phishing pages designed to trick them into providing their Google account credentials. Okay. Not only are you, that is a account that you do not want. That's ooh. You screw up there, you're screwed up everywhere. Think of how many times that you've used Google Authenticate or like the just OAuth. Oh my gosh. Or log in with Google. So
yes. That would suck.
Big time. So watch if you're a government employee.
If you're anybody.
If you're anybody, really. Or, yeah, just don't
click.
Don't click the link. Please.
Don't click shit. That's what Boris used to always say on the I used to be on a podcast called InfoSec Daily, I think it was. Oh shit, let's not go into the history of that fucking podcast.
Wait, what this isn't our neighborhood printer repairman, is it?
Yes, it is yes.
You gotta send I wanna see some of those. You need to send me a link to where those are located.
With the old InfoSec Daily podcasts?
Yes.
I think they're still up. Unfortunately, the gentleman who ran it ran into some legal trouble. Ah, shit! I can't go into all the detail. Oh man,
it's okay.
He seemed like a great guy, and he did some bad shit.
Yeah, it's fine. Just
And
send me a
fourth-
link.
Alrighty.
All right, that's it for layer 8 on vulnerable stuff. All
Layer
right.
8, the most vulnerable layer.
Most fun to exploit too, in my humble
Yes.
opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, because the human brain is still the most complex thing to work through. You look at relationships, anything else, that's pretty easy to validate. So much research is out there verifying that. So actually being able to manipulate, being able to deceive, it is a fun thing to exploit. Especially as a ethical hacker, not necessarily as a bad person, and have that on your conscience. But like in Caprico's case, he does it fairly ethically. So, but yeah,
I've only made someone cry once, so it's okay.
Oh, I've got you. Yeah, you need to up those numbers. But it really is kind of fun because it is definitely a challenge. Sometimes it's zero challenge.
Sometimes,
There's-
sometimes it's not. Last one that I went to, the network admin unlocked the server for me, so
yeah.
yikes.
And pen testers too. If you do red teaming or pen testing, especially physical, make sure you have. And if you've been doing this a while, I'm sure you already do. But make sure you have a set of, have your bump keys and stuff like that, just to get into the server room potentially. Well,
Don't
you're
bump
still.
key.
You don't ever bump key.
Nope.
Well,
There's
but
that-
other bypass devices.
Yeah.
But then also, a lot of the keys for the actual racks are fairly standard.
Yep.
So they're not
I've got
difficult
'em.
to get into. Just make sure you have them.
So if you actually buy a server, actually some networking gear sometimes will come with this, or if you buy a Dell server, or you find them at like auction or whatever. I'm just trying to find where I put my key ring in here. It only has a couple keys. There we go. Because I have to build this key ring out still, but I never wanted to pay for it myself. That is so like this style of key is a pretty standard one, and will get you into most server room infrastructure. And so, like, say the tubular ones on the Dell servers, I think you would need another one of those, but there is a master key that I think you can buy somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But just even like getting into like those doors, they're cheap doors, and they're assuming security controls are in place before.
And two, oftentimes, worst case scenario, the outside of the door is still usually perforated, and is going to be spring hinged either at the top, bottom, or both.
Yep.
And you can usually get something in to even just take the entire door off and slip the locking mechanism out. So
also a good thing to bring paracord.
yeah, I had a friend who had an issue with paracord here a couple weeks ago. So, and
what kind of issue?
It was all over. Don't call it paracord, and he had multiple reasons as to why it shouldn't be called paracord.
All right, well, that's
Yeah.
fine.
So yeah, it was kind of crazy all over the place.
Okay.
But he had his soapbox and he was standing on it.
Also, go to Office Depot, buy badge holders, and then my favorite thing to do has been to just put a little RFID card inside of here. Works every time. And then if you've got a good printer in the lobby, just throw up GIMP real quick and yeah, have fun.
That's right.
Works every time. I had an employee and a security guard look at my badge one time that I made in the hotel lobby on a crappy black and white printer, and they both verified it.
How much do the little travel printers cost? Because I got buddies who have those, and they use those for printing out badges like while they're out in the field.
Nah, not worth. Not well. It could be worth it. I just haven't gotten into it. Badge printer.
And it's not necessarily a badge printer. It's just a little tiny printer.
Yeah, like the brother or something or whatever.
Yeah.
ID badge printer.
And it may be that they are doing like the stickers too. That
portable.
they just do the sticker over top of the badge. But yeah, they carry a little printer with them, and once they find out the format of the, and oftentimes if you look on Facebook and Google, you can find what the actual format of the badges look like. That's something that guy from last Thursday discussed too, that whenever there's a conference and things like that, he'll find the cameras, like the open source cams, that like the Earth cams and all that, try to find one nearby and actually get, badges and credentials from an open source location as the people are going in and out, and then he'll stream it live, like while he is giving a talk at a conference, which that was a pretty good idea.
Here's a badge, here's a badge. There's one here that I'm finding for like $300.
Yeah, they're not like super cheap, but unless maybe you get one used.
Yeah, but even then, I gotta hit up Skydog for what his build is.
Skydog.
Yep.
I wish that conference was still running. That was a lot of fun. I wish this conference was still running. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Never got to go, but c'est la vie.
That's life.
Well, you would have only been 6 years old or so when the first one started, so.
Yeah. All right. IBM Go Fix. IBM.
Go fix.
Go fix?
Yourself.
Research. Yeah. Fix yourself before you wreck yourself. Researcher discloses 4 IBM 0 days after refusal to fix.
Okay, so first off, what does IBM do anymore?
Watson and a bunch of mainframe stuff.
Oh, so it is still pretty much like mainframe side though.
They bought Red Hat.
Yeah, then they also.
I forgot about Red Hat. Yeah,
I thought that was well. Anyway, the 4 0 days published today on GitHub by Pedro Ribeiro. Oh, hopefully I'm saying your name right, dude. Director of Research at Agile Information Security, were discovered in IBM Data Risk Manager, or IDRM, a tool designed to help uncover, analyze, and visualize data related to business risks. Okay. While analyzing the IDRM Linux virtual appliance, Ribeiro found an authentication bypass, a command injection, an insecure default password, and an arbitrary file download. So this sounds like what we were seeing with Dell a while ago. Remember when their support agent was just getting hammered by some high school kid? Which, by the way, Zoom is now hiring.
Oh, wait, Zoom is now hiring the high school kid?
Yeah, they're hiring him on an internship because he found an O-Day in Zoom.
Nice.
And I'd retweeted it, and it's like, this is what you need to do. You get wrecked. You pay this man. In addition to this stuff, okay, so IDRM is an enterprise security product that handles very sensitive information. The hacking of an IDRM appliance might lead to full-scale company compromise, as it stores credentials to access other security tools. Not to mention, it contains information about critical vulnerabilities that affect the company. In addition, 2 Metasploit modules that bypass authentication and exploit the remote code execution and arbitrary file download are released to the public. Go update your Metasploits. MSF update. And that is a quote from Ribeiro himself. Thank you, Ribeiro. I'm sure I'm going to run into that possibly.
But too, if you go to the bottom, and the Metasploit modules may still be relevant. I don't know which of the 4 have been addressed, but at the very bottom they have April 21st at 5:16 Eastern Daylight added information on IBM patching 2 of the vulnerabilities. So.
Yep. So IBM patched 2 of the 0 days, according to Security Advisor IBM patched the arbitrary file download and command injection vulnerabilities that existed within the IBM Data Risk Management product. So here's the other thing, though. There was a default password.
There's always a default password. I don't know where you've been.
So I'm gonna say
It's not like they can change that, right? Because if they change the default, I mean, at minimum, they could force a password reset.
How much do you want to bet it's just in an ELF binary and all you have to do is like string it?
You sit on a throne of lies. That is my ELF binary.
Okay.
I love
anyway.
ELF. I'm talking the big green guy.
You sit on a throne of
Oh
lies.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of big guys, you could be Buddy.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
I'm not as funny as Will Ferrell, though.
That and see, that's why you'd be perfect, because you don't think you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know that the same guy who directed Iron Man?
No.
Yeah, Jon Favreau.
Nice.
Dude gave us Elf, Iron Man, which MCU in general,
Yeah.
and now he's giving us Mandalorian.
I still need to watch that.
I do as well. Okay. Apple had 0 days? Question mark. So Apple patches 2 iOS 0 days abused for years. Researchers are reporting 2 Apple iOS 0 day security vulnerabilities affecting its Mail app on iPhones and iPads impacted our iOS 6 and iOS 13.41. That's a stretch. That's a
That's like, we're still using this in a third world country and it's vulnerable. And hey, look, shiny new iPhone over here. And hey, it's vulnerable too. Yes.
Yeah. Kind of makes me wonder about what was it, Pegasus, the Israeli hacking tool that would basically unlock everything in an iPhone. Which, by the way, Facebook tried to buy, and the UN was like, no. Like, they straight up were like, oh, no, we don't trust you anymore. Or we don't trust you at all for that. Anyway. Both
and the UN was able to
because
have
it's
a say.
It's a deal with a government entity that's inside of the UN with a based. I don't remember exactly. I have to go and find the article again.
Wow.
But anyway, back to these vulnerabilities. Both vulnerabilities are believed to have been actively exploited by an quote advanced threat operator since 2018, according to researchers.
That means either Iran or China.
Or Russia, or the US,
Russia, or the US, or Israel, or Brazil,
or United Arab Emirates. Or, thank you.
Maybe on the UAE side.
Wow. Go listen to Dark Knight Diaries, and yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, in skill set, yes, but in quantity, no.
Yeah, it depends. We also are never really going to know, because how much do we get from governments anyway?
From which source?
Like states, like we
officially
did
or unofficially?
Yeah, exactly. So
yes,
info is very few and far between. Both bugs are remotely exploitable by attackers who simply send an email to their victims. Default iOS mail applications on their iPhone or iPad. The attack scope consists of sending a specifically crafted email to a victim's mailbox, enabling it to trigger the vulnerability in the context of iOS mobile mail application on iOS 12 and Mail ID on iOS 13, wrote researchers. So kind of similar to like WhatsApp, where you send a message and then it would pwn the phone. This is the same kind of thing, and it does out of bounds memory rights and all that fun shit.
Yeah, there was a thing with iPhones and the text, right? Whenever you send a text here 8 months to 16 months ago, where if you sent specific characters, you'd cause the phone to reboot, right? Remember that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, FaceTime, just like random people walking in. It's like,
Yeah, there was a FaceTime
we
thing,
don't call
too.
it face
Forgot about that.
bombing. We call it Zoom bombing. What the heck? Because that was the same thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Huh.
Oh, yeah, somebody, a government, oh shoot, was it the UN? Somebody had a Zoom meeting going that somebody else intercepted and started posting nudes
I think that was
within
us.
the last week. Yeah, I don't remember who it was. And then New York de Blasio, or who whatever his name is, who has that hotline for calling in whenever people are not socially distancing, started getting all kinds of like dick pics and stuff being sent to that number. And yeah, sound like a lot of really good quality.
There are two things you never do on the internet. You never give out a survey that lets you write in your own answers, and you don't let people upload images.
Yeah.
Every poll is a goal.
Yeah. It's quality.
Some people say unsolicited dick pics, but I think those dick pics were solicited.
Oh yeah, those were totally called for.
But if there were only dick pics, that's a lot more mild and tame than I would expect from these kind of raids.
That's what I heard. Now they may have gone worse than that, and maybe just the majority was dick pics, but
Yeah, the only person that ever sent me dick pics online was a chick. So, and most of you probably know who she is, but damn, she gets solicited a fair amount. Shit, and I hate to say this, but I'm just slightly above average size. Some of these dudes were endowed. Shit.
All right. Speaking of endowed, crypto stealing with Ruby.
I am the reason this cast is demonetized.
No, you're not, Adrian.
No,
I'm like,
you're not.
I'm keeping my mouth shut right now. I keep my mouth shut. Let's tell you
I see
something.
you finally changed your avatar away from that. Oh, I can't remember the atheist gentleman who's been in charge of all sorts of shit that probably wasn't true.
Yeah.
But you decided to go with the middle finger dude.
Yeah.
All right.
That comic strip is also hilarious.
Wait, that's a comic strip? I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone sent
Yeah,
it in some
from
chat. Sorry,
Rando with.
Yeah.
Send me a link in the Twitter
Yep.
chat so I know. I'll go check it out.
It's hilarious.
He doesn't update very often, but when he does, it's fucking great.
Yeah. It is busted sick.
Oh shit!
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi Frank.
How you doing?
We're doing
Frank's
okay.
alive.
Are you just
I
walking
am.
around someplace?
Yes, I forgot about the cast. So
Oh. You just had to get outdoors though.
you know, you got to do what you got to
I've been
do.
doing the same thing. I've been going out to Lapping Park and hanging around. I'm thinking about hanging some wildlife cameras up there. Because I know there's raccoons around here, but I've not ever seen one in person. And I want to get some pictures of some cute raccoons.
Yeah, but you're never gonna get a good You mean like a picture that you'll use on material, or just something you want to see one time and discard?
Mostly one time in discard. I'm not
okay.
expecting, because I think raccoons do mostly nocturnal shit.
Yes.
So it will be using the nighttime camera, so it'd probably suck.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Frank, mute yourself when you're not speaking, because
Oh, sorry.
background noise. But whenever you speak, unmute. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go back to the subject at hand. I'm totally I'm going on a tangent. Go
I
ahead.
don't know. I enjoyed talking about raccoons, but
They're adorable creatures.
they really are. Especially tamed raccoons are fun.
Well, you have to tame them, though. You have to. It takes some work. It takes some training, because even tamed, my understanding, they're a bit frisky. They get a little bit too clawy and play too rough.
It depends. I
And
mean,
you really have to spade or neuter them.
yeah,
And
you have to.
in.
Yeah, you have to have them from the time that they're very, very small. Like,
Yeah. Also,
essentially
what
being
state you're in,
born.
you can't
Huh?
take them to the vet because in some states it's apparently illegal to have a raccoon as a pet.
Indiana is one where, my cousins always had coons that they raised growing up. So,
I need to go hang out at your cousin's place for just a bit because I like to meet them.
well, they're a little older now, but yeah, whenever I was growing up, they were about 10, 15 years older than me. But yeah, they always had coons.
Do they still have coons?
No.
No
Now,
longer? Okay.
they still have cows, but no longer have coons.
Apparently, Mary, I didn't know this. Foxes are apparently.
Eat
I think
chickens.
red foxes. I think there may be foxes that are native to North America. I'm not sure. I'm sure that's true. And those. He's on in 2 different places. Okay, I think he on a different way. And
But foxes.
I didn't know foxes were native to North America in any way. Though I think the red fox. Mary recently lost a chicken.
Yeah.
Because of a fox that apparently ate it.
Yes.
Apparently, I think the Europeans introduced the red fox here. I didn't know foxes were even running around North America. That's how ignorant I am.
Oh yeah. Whenever I was a kid, and I was up in Martinsville, right? So I had a den of foxes down in my woods. Not every year because they move from like one place to another every other year, but I'd say every 2 to 3 years I had a den of foxes down in my woods, and whenever they had the small little ones, those little foxes were the cutest things you've ever seen in your life. And my ex-wife, unfortunately, ran over a fox here. I actually saw it one morning whenever I was going to work, and was like, "Oh man, that is a cute little fox," and they're like a small dog, And
they're all canids, and
yeah,
they have been domesticated. It took about 50 years to do it, but some Russians domesticated some foxes to make them actually halfway decent pets. My understanding.
okay, yeah. So I got home from work, or I was driving home that day, and I see the fox there dead on the road. It's like, man, that sucks, And then get home, and she was like, or I think I said something like, "Man, there was this really cute fox, and I came home and looks like somebody killed him," and just straight up, no remorse, anything. Oh yeah, I ran over him.
Shit.
What the?
I didn't know you have an ex-wife, but I have some understanding of why now.
Yeah.
It looks like I think Frank's a better connection.
There you go. But yeah,
sorry, I totally derailed Caprico's going on. I'm sorry. Continue.
it was okay. It was a monologue. Caprico was doing pretty good at it. Okay, back to your monologue.
Yeah. Bitcoin stealers hide in 700 plus Ruby developer libraries, or gems, if you like your Ruby terms.
Epic.
Yes.
Gems.
Cyber criminals uploaded typo squatting malicious libraries to Ruby gems. Hey, that's something that happens on the Docker side as well, which contains open source components that are used as basic application building blocks by software developers. About 760 malicious libraries bent on stealing Bitcoin have been identified so far in the open source Ruby programming language code base. So basically where you would go and get your Ruby modules. So I forget what the command is.
Gem install.
Yes, gem. So where gem pulls from, about 760 of those were probably just crypto miners in the background of some sort. So when you're running your application, it's also mining a little bit of Bitcoin. Using this technique, bad actors...
really little bit.
Yeah.
Little Docker, it's not going to get much.
Yeah, it's like if you're running it in Docker and also a bunch
using
of
CPU most likely, and not even like touching. And server side too, you're not going to have like hardly any type of video card normally.
Is there even a way to do GPU pass through with Docker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. They added it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And yeah.
And it's still going to be crap. I mean, for mining purposes, that's why you have to have, you're essentially mining bots, and have a huge cluster so that you can get anything. Just because a single rig,
right?
you're not going to get jack from Bitcoin from that. So,
Right. And
or
most of the
Monero
stuff-
or anything else.
Monero, you're gonna get a little bit.
Not really.
Yeah. So
So-
I have to look at it, but if you're if it works and I'm still seeing new ones pop up, they're getting something out of it.
No, that's the thing, because
So-
they don't have to pay for the electric, for the hardware, for the anything.
Mhm,
Yeah, it
mhm.
fully 100% works for them because they have the numbers. I'm saying for like a single person, if you wanted to go out and mine Monero, it's not going to be worth, using your equipment to mine Monero because there's just no financial profit to it, because you still have your electric expense, your hardware, everything. Whereas for botnets, that's why they are able to make money, not because of a singular system, but the accumulation of all the systems they're on. So,
Which is back to the Ruby gems or malicious Ruby gems or modules or whatever you want to call them. That's kind of how this falls into it. The reason why it's an issue is because when you're typo squatting, it'll just look like it worked. So let's say that you wanted to have this SSL library. So you type gem install SSK. SSK installs, it does the same thing SSL does, but it's got a little bit tacked on and stuff like that.
Just a little extra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's overhead.
Yeah, just a little bit of padding. We'll call it padding.
Paying the piper.
Yeah, you gotta pay the miner,
the don.
the miner for the gem.
You're paying the don,
Yeah,
the mafia boss.
Yeah,
for the protection.
Yeah,
from them.
Yeah,
So
you pay protection by getting exploited.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
Actually, I bet there are companies and groups out there that would do that. Allow us to legally use your gear, and we guarantee nobody else will get on your systems. Type of thing.
Yeah, it's called MSSPs.
Hey.
Yeah, but they're not actively exploiting them. They're looking for the bad. But
you just have 30 clients on there that will eat all your CPU.
In that sense,
They're
though,
keeping you safe.
Because
what is a pen test company?
Exactly. Because
let's just put this appliance right here.
Yeah, because you can limit mining activity to whenever the processor is not being utilized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the video card's not being, or a minimal amount of use is being used, and then you only take it up to like say 50 or 60%, whatever the case may be. Like you could have something like that with some of these different companies where they paid you a lesser amount, per year for whatever the service is, as long as you can have your miner on their systems, and say you then come in kind of from a security perspective and say, yep, and if we see anybody else trying to do something similar to what we're doing, we will shut them down and they will not be on your systems. In this case, we have an agreement. We won't go over 60 or 70% utilization. Whatever the case may be. I guarantee there's companies that would totally sign up for that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a market for it.
I mean, I'm not gonna do it, but I just think people would.
So,
if looking at it as taking the lesser of two evils.
Or weevils.
Did you guys cover that thing that happened the other day where there were all these sensationalist articles that the CDC and all these other agencies had been hacked and the Gates Foundation was hacked?
Yeah.
And it turned out it was just somebody doing a dump of old password leaks, encouraging people to go hack using those accounts so they could try and find information about COVID being a man-made virus, which it isn't, but that's what they're looking for. Craziness.
Yeah, we talked about at least those dumps in particular, not so much on it. Not much further into the context, but you just gave us that context. So
yeah.
But yeah, so that's Bitcoin mining through making typo squatting things. And we're on the last thing before the weekly bulletin. And for once, it's not Docker that I'm talking about when it's a botnet. Actually, this is the second time I'm talking about it, so that it's a little weird. All right, Mootbot.
Mootbot.
Yeah,
Mootbot.
Mootbot.
4chan?
Yeah, they're friends. The hacker known as 4chan. Yeah, they're friends. I made that joke twice today. Botnet. So Mootbot botnet targets fiber routers with dual 0 days. So 2 0 days is what they're saying. So researchers, blah, 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 blah. So the Mootbot botnet has been using a pair of 0-day exploits to compromise multiple types of fiber routers, according to researchers. Other botnets have attempted to do the same, but have failed so far. So
the second one got leaked, the second exploit, but you need the first one to get the second one to get RCE.
Yep.
And the first one hasn't leaked.
Yeah, not yet, but apparently this is in. So according to researchers at NetLab 360, the operators of Mootbot botnet in late February started to exploit a 0-day bug in 9 different types of fiber routers used to provide internet access and Wi-Fi to homes and businesses, including the NetLink GPON router or GPON. The flaw is a remote code execution bug, which is that first exploit, with a public proof of concept, second exploit. But for it to be used successfully to compromise a target router, it must be paired with a second vulnerability. It is most likely most of the vendors are OEM products and are the same original vendor, the firm explained in a recent posting. However, NetLab 360 said it wouldn't release the original vendor's name nor details of the second bug because the vendor told the security firm that it didn't see the bug as viable. Okay. That's when you release stuff and then force to fix.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And two, maybe that's why they release a second one. Be like trying to be a little civil about it. Like, look, we're not joking. This is here, and get them to play their hand.
Yeah.
Without everybody being completely annihilated.
It's like, yo, there's a hundo. We've got the 1,000.
You're the worst gangster I've ever seen in my life.
People usually ignore me because I'm an ignorable person. But
but too, you got to remember you're a giant, so you're like 8'7". So yeah.
No, dude, not that tall. I'm saying that. Actually, no. Keep saying that because then when I go on physical engagements, they're looking like that way. They're like this, and then I just walk right past them.
Yeah, as you automatically just didn't even need a ladder, were able to jump up on the roof.
I don't like this. This is heightest.
Heightest.
Anyway. All right.
We will not tolerate height supremacy here.
Excuse me, Caprico's the one with the height supremacy teacher.
I'm fairly tall, but just not nearly as tall as Caprico.
Yeah, just not like Caprico.
And then again, Sam can dwarf him. Oh, Sam was another guy on the video team. He's
super tall.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the fuck he is. He's like 6'7" or something. He's huge. And I remember walking to our conference and knowing that he had family there. I saw this woman who was like as tall as I am. I'm like looking over him like, is that his sister? Because he's a tall dude. He's not huge as in like massive muscular. He's skinny and tall is what he is.
I think I remember seeing him once.
Yeah, he was doing video work for me at DerbyCon.
Oh,
and he also does, I think, video work sometimes at GoCon for me.
Gotcha.
All right. So that's pretty much it on Mootbot.net. Probably going to see that in the coming weeks, see that second exploit dropped if they don't fix it, or that specific vendor doesn't fix it.
Yeah, I'm figuring that's like Fios and all those too are susceptible to it. So.
Yep. All right.
Nice with a botnet.
Yeah. Last but not least, we've got the weekly bulletin, which is where most, if not all, of these things are going to be covered as well, including some things that we haven't talked about as well, and also some medium to lows that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
So go check that out. It's
Things
posted
that we
every
just
week.
don't want to talk about. Yeah, but could
Yeah.
still impact your business and could still completely wreck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the things that you're most worried about. Your company going under. Oh dear God, the pickles are back.
That's not me.
Not this one.
There's multiple people with pickles. You're
I
getting
think that would be Frank.
that should be a hot dog since it's Frank.
By the way, Frank, as far as this cast is concerned, we're on every Wednesday at about 7 p.m. I usually put the link out in that shared chat of ours.
Adrian, you know Frank was on
6:45.
here was like for
Yeah.
like two months straight, right?
Yeah, but he disappeared recently. I don't know.
Yeah, when I started working from home, I started getting drunk around 5 o'clock and doing nothing after that.
I can feel you. I can feel that. Yes.
That's probably not the best. What was that?
Some Boulevard
Oh,
pale ale.
because
that
I
they're
didn't catch
trying
it.
out.
Like I just saw it as it was leaving, but the coloration kind of looked like a natty light,
No,
and I was gonna, cry
I think
in my alcohol.
No, it's I bought a sample pack, which is a bunch of their other stuff. This one so far is my favorite from them. Space Camp.
Oh, okay.
See, the only brewery I regularly try everything from is damn it, it's a mead company. I'm trying to think of its fucking name. Bee Nectar. They make
Bee
various
Nectar.
really good meads and
Nice.
cysters and melonels. Melonels, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a term for a mead that's brewed with both fruit juice and honey and
That's a
and water.
Melomel. What's Melomel?
Melonel? Yeah. They make really good ones.
Nice.
But unless you live in like Indiana or Michigan, probably Ohio, it's hard to find those probably. Everybody knows I love mead on Twitter. So the people who actually like me, which isn't everybody on Twitter, but there's a few people on Twitter who like me. They bring me mead, but the most common mead to find across the United States is something called Viking's Blood. I can't remember the exact name of the company that makes it. And egads, it's syrupy and awful, and I just can't hardly drink the shit.
You need to drink it if you're going to have a deal with Odin, though.
Maybe.
No, that's just losing your eye.
Do I get some cool crows that tell me why shit?
If you, let me grab my Norse mythology book. I actually have one right there.
Wait, Thor. That's Norse, right?
Yes.
No, that's
Oh yes, that
okay.
that is the son of Odin, god of thunder.
Yeah. Okay.
And no, now I'm gonna have that crazy motherfucker on Twitter who thinks I'm a fascist talking about. Oh, he knows Norse mythology. Obviously, he's involved with these various white supremacist groups. No, I just happen to read too many fucking Marvel comic books. You dumb fuck.
I don't know. I think you were there whenever the Ark of the Covenant was open with Indiana Jones and everybody's faces started melting off too.
Well, I'm still here, so obviously I wasn't with them.
No,
I
you
closed
just kept
my
your
eyes.
eyes closed. Yes.
One last thing on the notes. We did have one on other stuff. Tracking the hackers with Honey Badger. It's a link to Black Hills discussion training that they did. I don't know, this week or last week, I think.
Yeah, they had a good build your own home lab one this week also.
Nice.
That was last week, yeah.
Actually, yeah, it was just 2 days ago for the Honey Badger one. But yeah, it's utilizing. I haven't been through it, but I saw it. I think it's utilizing cookies.
Yes. It depends.
Yes.
So they covered this in the 8-hour training that they did a while back.
Okay.
A few months ago, I think in February, they did a 8-hour training seminar online. That was just
the one
around
with the virtual machines that you download. Is that the one with all those virtual machines you download?
Yeah, the one. It was the one virtual machine that we had to download. That had. Wait, was it one or multiple?
I think it was 3. because I found the link to it, and I went. You had to go like on East. You had to download some weird program so that you could download it straight from Elastic Cloud.
Oh yeah,
Straight from like a bucket, an S3 bucket.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I thought it was just one, and then there were three there were three challenges inside of it. No, I don't know. I've still got it. So, but yeah. So this goes over how they track it. With this example, they go over like cookies and stuff like that, checking for. What does that look like? That looks like checking for PowerShell code execution that goes out to a API beacon. So if someone opens up PowerShell, it'll beacon out on that system. Say, hey, someone's on here.
Nice.
And if they access the Wi-Fi, yeah, if they access Wi-Fi data.txt, I think, then it will send that out, and it'll send out an HTTP request to the beacon server that will say, hey, someone's looking at stuff they're not supposed to.
Yeah, so is this like I said, I didn't go through it, but it sounds like you've looked into it some. Is this I'm assuming Windows only?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while. I have to look at it. That I believe they have it set up to do a bunch of other stuff for all the other systems. So, I mean, if it's just like Bash, ZSH, all this other stuff. But I have to look into it some more. I have to actually get to building out an actual VM environment and
getting ready. If you can see in the background.
Yeah, I was wondering
actually,
what that was.
Yeah, starting here, hopefully within 2 weeks, I'll have everything moved in and have
blinky lights.
Yeah, everything populated and done. It's a 36U or 35U. I don't know, 35, 36U.
Is it double-sided? How deep is that?
It's full server rack. Yeah,
Sweet.
just like a half height. Huh?
Yeah. I upgraded my box to 64 gig of RAM, so I can run some more VMs on it at the same time.
There you go. Let's see. I think I have 96 gigs of RAM in each of my servers. I think. Been a long time since I built them.
It's not a real server. It's an i9. I got a graphics card in there so I can play games.
Yeah, I don't play games.
You don't play games?
Nah.
Is that what you tell the girls?
I'm married.
I know.
So he actually means it.
Yeah. I fibbed. 72 gigs of RAM in each of the servers.
Wait,
so.
I thought you were going to say, I fibbed, I do play games. What?
Nah.
I got a Nintendo Switch, and I've been cheating in Animal Crossing.
Good.
Now, granted, I do have a Xbox One, but literally that thing gets turned on once every 2 months.
Yeah. I used to have all of the consoles, and then I sold my Xbox because I wasn't using it. And then now I just got another Xbox in the house because girlfriend had one. So I'm like, oh, okay.
I
just play Bricks and Balls on my fucking phone. That's about the only game I play anymore.
Bricks and Balls?
Yeah, it's like a breakout kind of game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember Breakout from the 80s?
Yeah, so but there's no like leather and straps or whips or nothing.
No, none of that. I'm not that particularly kinky.
Bricks and Balls.
It's not Euro Trip, dude.
I know people like Euro Trip.
That's hilarious.
And that movie's been out for a long time. I know I've watched part of it. I don't think I watched all of Euro Trip.
No, I've only seen one
part.
scene.
Nuh-uh.
You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I don't think we really can talk about that.
Because my wife. My wife was the one who encouraged me to watch that movie. I was like, what?
Yeah. By the way, I'm still waiting for contact with her sister, but whatever. I remember your wife said I made a joke about her sister, And she said something, well, you know, she's 30. I'm like, I'm 15 years older than that. Like, I can care.
Yes, you were 150% older than her.
Something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn some Tagalog. Tagala. Always
Tagalog.
call it Tag.
I always jokingly call it tag-along.
Well,
But
the
yes.
thing is, I'm a big Robert A. Heinlein fan, and I think I read Starship Troopers when I was relatively young.
Yeah.
And the main character in that is Johnny Rico, who's of Filipino heritage. I think living in Brazil, though. He's a Filipino man. And he talks about Tagala, and every time it's written, it reads like tag along to me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I pronounce it too when I see it.
By the way,
Wrong.
before you watch the movie, read the fucking Robert A. Heinlein book.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers is much better as a book than it was as a movie. The movie wasn't terrible as entertainment purposes, but they strayed way far from the book. And
Wait,
Paul
did
Beethoven-
you say watch the movie first?
Read the book.
I would
Read the
say
book.
watch the movie first.
Yeah, that way you could.
Because then
your
you're
expectations
left
will be
with a
set really
high-
high then.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
then if you watch the movie and then read the book, then you
The
know
book
you have
is
a
way
good
better.
feeling about it afterwards.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I said, but yes, Paul Beethoven did not understand the source material.
And see, that's why I'm not reading any books until I'm like 75 and only watching movies.
And there's a guy named Sargon of
I'm-
Akkad who covered the political theory of Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers, and shit, I'm gonna get that crazy fuck on my ass again. But it's way different than some people understand Starship Troopers to be. Paul Beethoven, who directed the movie, thought it was some kind of treatise on fascism or something. It's not. It's something slightly different. Actually, quite a bit different. Read the book. I think it's a lot better than the movie, but the movie is at least good entertainment. As a friend of mine said, it's a popcorn film.
Heck yeah. I like watching the movie.
I like
Watch
popcorn.
Denise Richards.
Denise
Well,
Richards is
that
cute.
is
Who's
true.
the other
I've
lady? Who's the lady who played Dizzy? She's
Wow, you know the
disappeared.
name.
She's disappeared from Hollywood, but the lady who played Dizzy is also very cute.
Now, I will tell you right now, if you want to kind of ease into it, watch the live action movie, and then there's a CGI series that came out in the early 2000s called The Roughneck Chronicles. It's actually fairly faithful to the source material, so you might want to watch that as an intermediary to kind of ease yourself into the pretty big shock of difference that there is between the movie and the book.
I haven't seen the CGI one, but I probably should.
It's pretty good. It's actually very faithful to the book.
They at least
Dizzy,
have power armor,
Dizzy
right?
is Dina Meyer.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, she's gorgeous.
Oh, she I think, did you ever watch Monk?
Yeah.
I think she was the wife on Monk, I think.
Was the wife
I
dead?
know she was in Birds of Prey as the former Batgirl, or Inspector Gordon's daughter. Shit, I only know a little bit about DC Universe.
Oh,
shit.
she's in Johnny New.
Yeah. She wasn't Monk's wife. She was the one that she was trying to fool Adrian Monk into thinking that she was his wife.
Never try to fool Adrian into thinking that
Exactly.
his wife.
Man, I loved Monk. Monk was a excellent series.
I haven't watched it. I've heard good things, but I have not watched it. Is it on Netflix?
I don't have Netflix. I don't know.
It is.
But the detective.
Okay, I need to look at it. I know he's like, what is he? He has some kind of mental disability.
Tony Shalhoub. Yeah, I mean, wasn't
OCD
anything.
or something. He has some problem.
Yeah, obsessive compulsive. So he was.
Yeah, I'm OCD. That causes me problems because I go back and reread Twitter conversations, and I have to know exactly every word.
Yes, I know.
And I really want a lot of you people to fuck off.
but he was
It's
obsessed
on
about
Amazon.
cleanliness, and then there was other weird things.
Birdies have a strict quality code.
I hit a link for Monk and it started auto playing.
But then there were other things like if there were things in sequence, he would kind of need to touch, at everyone or like every other one that were sequential,
Yeah.
like physically touch them.
I'm like,
So
OCD.
yeah, there were a lot of those little types of quirks. But yeah, the main thing was germs and cleanliness, though.
Here's a picture of the 90s.
Oh shit, Johnny Mnemonic. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh
so-
yeah.
But,
I-
Deanna Meyer, I think you said her name was. Yeah, she was beautiful.
So there's Dina Meyer and Keanu Reeves and Ice-T.
Ice-T. I didn't realize he was doing stuff in the 90s already.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he was pretty big in the 90s. And Johnny Mnemonic, I think they probably I vaguely recall the cyberpunk thing. I think mostly started in the 80s. I remember having a cyberpunk role-playing book at some point in time. Well, actually, it was someone else who had it. I read it. Here's the funny thing. We way over-predicted the flying cars, but we way under-predicted the amount of digital storage you could get.
Very. Because what is it in Johnny Mnemonic's head? Like, you get, like... He only had, like, 100 gigabytes or something. He had a couple gigabytes or something like that.
Of porn?
I don't know. It could have been. We never knew what the end. Actually, I don't know. Did we ever figure out? I haven't seen that movie in forever. I have it on DVD somewhere.
What's a DVD?
Yeah. And I'm not even referring to the movie. I'm talking about the role-playing book. But I went and tried to find the role-playing book as a PDF, and I couldn't find the particular thing I remember from like the 80s or early 90s when I read it. But yeah, there was a way under prediction on what digital capabilities would be, and a way over prediction on what flying cars would be.
Huh.
Then again, if you had flying cars, they crazy motherfuckers who want to commit suicide would probably be flying cars in the fucking building. So I can understand that.
Well, I mean, but with a flying car, you got to think about it like with an airplane.
I'm just saying they would.
Yeah, but autopilot is going to be such a larger thing with a
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Exactly. Whenever you don't have to go around things, and all you have to do is stay X amount of feet or yards or whatever unit of distance above the ground and go straight and not necessarily have to avoid things. Yeah, it's
maybe we can program it. Though
going to be a lot safer.
Maybe programmed to decide what is what is it called, the switch coach problem or the train trolley problem.
The trolley switch problem or whatever.
Because cars may have to be programmed to make a decision based on what is the best thing to do based on two different people dying.
It's either one or four.
Multiple people dying. And technically, wasn't Back to the Future 3 set in the past now?
Yes.
The third one set in the Wild West.
Yeah, the Wild West.
Well, sorry, the second one was set though in 2015 or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it went 1985, 2015, 1885.
Yeah, and that was where he had like the hoverboard and stuff, and then they went back to the Old West.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there was a video game that had a lot of content. Actually, it was 3 separate video games, and somebody spliced all that content together and made a Back to the Future 4, 5, and 6 based on the video games, which were official.
Yeah, the Telltale games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Telltale got their start. They just started making Back to the Future expansions. They got Michael J. Fox to actually
did a voice, which was awesome.
Yeah, he came in for a cameo.
Whoever they got to do that voice sounded just like him, though.
Yeah, so they got to, because sadly Michael J. Fox's condition makes it harder for him to do voice acting.
What is his condition called? Is it
Parkinson's?
Yeah.
No, Parkinson's is what my grandpa had. I don't
him
think.
and
Maybe he does.
him and Muhammad Ali. I don't remember what the conditions are called.
Oh, it is Parkinson's. So
What
yeah,
is Muhammad Ali's condition?
um,
Punch drunk.
Or was his condition? Because he's passed away. Coughing. I don't think I have the COVID, guys.
yeah,
I
whatever.
passed it on your chat, but
Yeah,
Yeah, he had Parkinson's too.
yeah, he had Parkinson's too.
Okay.
But with
he's a Louisville native. They renamed our airport Muhammad Ali. I think
Yes.
they should have called it Muhammad Ali / who's the Gonzo journalist? Damn it! What is his fucking name? Crazy motherfucker did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I don't know. Use the Google.
use the Google. But yeah, with while you're thinking of that, Parkinson's, you essentially have uncontrollable shaking. So like my grandpa, towards the end of his life, my grandma had to feed him because he couldn't hold a spoon because he was always shaking so bad. He was super, super skinny. He had literally, like the doctor would say, you have the body of like a 25-year-old. Like the muscle tone and everything, because his muscles were constantly, as long as he was awake, working 100% of the time. And then the only time that he really stopped shaking was whenever he slept.
Hunter S. Thompson. It should have been called the airport of Muhammad Ali / Hunter S. Thompson, because those were the two most famous Louisvillians.
There you go.
That's what I would have called it.
I bet you anything marijuana would help with Parkinson's.
Probably.
Actually, I think I've probably seen videos of people getting help from that.
Yeah, because
as a libertarian, I'm for destroying the drug war entirely. But that's me.
I mean, because it directly affects the nervous system, and Parkinson's is 100% a nerve condition. So I bet it would help with that. But unfortunately, my grandfather passed away before I was ever even born.
I knew one of my great grandfathers. I was actually at his grave here recently today. Me and my brother met up for my mom's. Well, never mind. By the way, my name is already inscribed in our fucking grave. I have one open spot. So any women who want to hit me up, I have an open grave spot. If that is a calling card for a good mate, I have an open spot right next to me.
And Adrian has at least 20 rolls of toilet paper currently.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a wealthy man. Woo! You got one.
So
he is set for today and after death. Set.
My great grandfather bought some plots many years ago in a cemetery, which, strangely enough, my grandfather plowed into that same cemetery when he had a heart attack driving to work.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. He died in 1981, and my grandma, his wife, died in 2014.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be without your spouse.
Yeah, my grandfather, who just other side of the family, my grandma on my dad's side passed away, I think in 98, and my grandfather on dad's side just passed away like 2 years ago in 2018. So you're talking like 20 years. And my grandfather was 92.
Wait, which one died first, your grandma or your grandfather?
My grandma passed away first, and then grandfather passed away a couple years ago.
All right.
On dad's side. On my mom's side,
the opposite, but okay.
Yeah, because usually the husband, the man, passes away first. But yeah,
we don't have female privilege. It's all about female privilege.
Exactly. But too, I think a lot of that had to do with her youngest son, my dad's youngest brother, who was only maybe like 6-7 years younger than him, passed away at a very, very young age. Like he was around 39 or 40, and she died, and she was very incredibly depressed over that. And it was within a year and a half, 2 years after he passed away, she passed away. So yeah,
It's
very
strange how people who are closely tied die close together. Like my great grandfather
Yeah.
was taken care of by my great uncle. They died like a couple months apart.
And you
And
look
my
at
mom
old
died.
married couples too.
I think my brother would correct me on this. I don't remember the exact time period, but my uncle died, and then my mom died like 12 days later or some shit. It was a super short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and you look at some of these older married couples, like there's a lot of accounts of, these people who've been together like 60, 70 years, essentially passing away like within minutes to hours of each other. Sometimes like holding hands in hospital beds in the same room, both of them passing away. It's like,
There's something to be said
wow.
about the will to live.
Yeah, I agree. Because whenever there is the will to keep going on, you do it as long as you can. Whenever there's not much left, it's pretty easy to let go and, not fight. The whole fight or flight,
Yeah.
concept.
I
And
think about that into the show notes. Let me look
we
up
are.
the show notes. Are we not?
We are complete with the show notes. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go through some of the in chat things. I went so much Highland in school. That's from Barry. Starship Troopers is free on Amazon Prime. The movie
Correct.
is?
Yes.
That's cool.
I was trying to tell you that before, but it started autoplaying.
Willie Dude was doing movies in the
That was
80s.
Monk, by the way.
Ice-T was doing movies in the 80s.
Jack, I'm not sure which movie in the 80s you're talking about.
Ice-T was doing movies in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Barry,
I thought he was still like coming up in the 80s. How in the hell was he doing movies?
Barry Merritt says that 320 gigabytes is, I think, what I'm assuming that's a reference to Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic. Why the fuck did I say that? That's not Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, that was moronic.
Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic is the future version of John Wick when we figure out how to de-age people. I'm actually serious.
It's not like Keanu Reeves is particularly aging fast as it is.
No.
That motherfucker's in his 50s. Damn, I would like to be that pretty in my 50s.
Yeah, and two, there's going to be another Bill and Ted coming out. At least they've said there's going to be, and there's not going to be a big difference in.
There is a big difference. If you actually go back and look, there is a big difference. But I can't deny that
he is.
I don't know.
That man is aging like wine.
He has
doing well.
aged spectacularly. Now, granted, I still think he's one of the worst actors ever.
I don't think he's that
Bill
bad.
and Ted, I think he was great because he is playing himself. The Matrix, Like I really like John Wick.
I think he's done a lot better in the last 10 years. I'll agree that he has this whoa, what the fuck is going on look.
Yes.
In most of his films through the 90s and early 2000s, but I think he's got better.
Yeah, and like what's a Daredevil guy who was Batman? Everybody hated him as Batman.
Shit.
Affleck.
Affleck.
Yeah, Affleck. So the accountant, I really like the accountant because he hardly said anything. It was all action.
You just like silent movies.
Yeah. Well, I like movies with words whenever the people have the ability to act.
I'm looking at these other chats. Barry, wait. I think Barry and Jack pointed out it was Parkinson's. We were talking about the various gentlemen who
correct.
Who what was it? Muhammad Ali and Michael J. Fox had that particular medical issue.
Okay, we're gonna have to smack this Frank upside the head.
Apparently, Jack's uncle knew Muhammad Ali. That's cool. Actually, I had a roommate who encountered Muhammad Ali because one of my former roommates was big into boxing, and he was obviously because where I live, he was in Louisville area. Barrett Merritt was pointing out Hunter S. Thompson was the name I was mistaking, but got up later on, and the dude committed suicide, unfortunately. And he was known to be close to line with Colorado and Kentucky, also from That one's from Jack. I got 50 rolls of Charmin. That's Barrett. He's trying to like accept his dominance and say, "Hey, women, I have I have the toilet paper. Come to my place."
Oh yeah.
That's
I mean,
brutal.
oh my.
Now it's just a bunch of people ranting about toilet paper. I do not know the fucking. All right, I can understand going out. Oh, it's about pandemic happening. Let me go out and grab a 36 roll. But I don't understand why toilet paper is still hard to come by now. And
So
I think I'm done reading chat.
Yeah, that's fine. So I do shop at Aldi. If any of you are too good to shop at Aldi, sorry, I do. But for the first time in probably a month and a half, when I went shopping on Sunday, because right now, essentially, I'm the only person who leaves the house all that much, and I go shopping and do like crap. But Aldi had both toilet paper and paper towels. Now, granted, I still don't buy that type of toilet paper, but they had it. So, yeah, it was a willow branch, which was good.
Myers finally has toilet paper back to stock. It seems not much, but a little bit.
Cool.
Walmart, occasion you can find some, but it's like one pack per customer.
You know, I still have not seen any hand sanitizer anywhere.
Yes, or alcohol, or
which is crazy because you got, especially here in like Columbus, we have a lot of distilleries, and almost all of them have converted over into, making hand sanitizer. And I assume it's all going to the hospitals and stuff. But yeah, you can't find any type of hand sanitizer, even though there's ramped up manufacturing of it now. So,
all right, let me bring up something really controversial.
Oh, please.
What is people's opinion on the open up idea?
Open up what? Oh, like actually going back to norm?
Yeah, we're just gonna reopen everything and forget about the whole virus. People die, they die. That's it.
I think we need to open, but open in a kind of controlled way. If a business needs to be, and two, I've always had an issue with not always, because I'm old, but obviously I work from home. I think that it's a benefit to companies if somebody can work from home for their job, for their profession, that they do that. At least try to do it a majority of the time. It costs you a lot less as a company, as an organization. You don't have to have space within your environment to keep them. They don't have to commute to work, so it's a big benefit on them. There's a lot of positives to it. So I'm hoping to see a lot of businesses kind of convert a lot of the employees who can consistently work from home.
People who can work from home.
Have them work.
Those who are young and healthy, maybe go back to the line jobs.
Yeah,
elderly people shelter in place.
With this one, that's
here's the thing. People say, well, if it costs one life, then it's not worth it. The thing is, an economic shutdown that causes massive depression will also cause lives. And I'm not sure where that balance point fucking is.
Agreed. Because people will become suicidal, all these other things.
There's
whenever
also
life circumstance gets to that point.
I mean,
yeah. What was that, Liz?
Right now, we don't have. Look, I don't see any credible way we can open up any real part of the economy without aggressive testing. Considering asymptomatic carriers of the coronavirus are a thing, a very, very common thing.
And we don't know how common it is, because
and we don't know why it's asymptomatic.
There's a shit ton of people who are supposed to have had it. The immune system killed it. They have the antibodies. I'm not dude. There's so many unknowns in this fucking thing.
Yeah, and as well as there are cases, or at least reported cases, of people who have had it and have got it again. So,
well, how many people I couldn't make reports on reinfection. I've heard mixed reports on reinfection.
Exactly,
But
and
what
that's
is
why
the
it's
current-
like, maybe.
Because I read a report where apparently the amount of antibodies in the body was heavily correlated with the age of the individual. But the younger individuals who didn't have much in the way of symptoms didn't have much in the way of antibodies. But the older individuals did.
As well
Until
as
the
I've heard
younger
that
ones got reinfected.
yeah, as well as I've heard that the antibody may not necessarily be accurate, because say somebody who had SARS, which was also a coronavirus, the antibodies, at least with the current testing, are show to be the same. So they can't differentiate between somebody who had like SARS versus COVID-19. And somebody who had SARS is still not going to be immune to COVID-19.
Technically, COVID-19 is a form of SARS.
Well,
Well, it's
yeah, but
related.
one of the previous forms of coronavirus, because we've had this stuff for years, and what was the swine flu or what was some of the others? Because there's
Swine
been like
flu,
swine flu,
H1N1,
right?
and there's also Ebola, which there's a guy I was listening to on YouTube, and I think he said that things like Ebola, sometimes a virus strain evolves that is less deadly, but is enough to immune you. So it's like a naturally passed vaccination.
Which would be
Here-
awesome. I mean,
that'd be awesome, but yeah, we don't know what's happening. That's the thing. There's
Yeah.
so much about this current pandemic. We don't know what's happening.
yeah, and two, like
But
the
it's
vast majority of the people
not taking out enough male feminists. That's all I know. It's not taking out enough male feminists.
Fucking hate those male feminists.
Yeah, we know. I know here in Ohio, our prison population got hit pretty heavily.
With male feminists?
No, but I think it was 30% of all those infected had zero symptoms, so they were asymptomatic.
And-
30%.
But that
I mean-
point, assuming they have some immunity, it's time to go back to work. But if people don't have immunity, I don't fucking know, dude. There's so many unknowns in this, and people are like a Monday door. What was the term? Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yes.
And apparently, according to Democrats, everything is Trump's fault. There's a lot of people who didn't
Yes.
give a shit. Really, there was like various, like Pelosi saying, "Come out and party in Chinatown. It's all good."
In New York, we
There's
let
a lot of hypocrisy
To be
going on.
fair, Chinatown didn't really get hit.
It didn't. Could be culturally. I don't know about Chinatown is specifically. My saying Japan and Korea didn't get particularly hit because they had some expensive SARS. They were already wearing masks, and they have less of a huggy, kissy culture than let's say
Yeah,
the Italians do. The Italians got fucked over. as
Yeah,
I
and
recall.
the Philippines haven't been like hugely affected by it either.
Yeah, Japan is a culture where, like even before this all started, if you get sick and you go outside, you're wearing a mask. So that kind of culture helped them in curbing the severity of this.
Yeah, and too, like with people going back to work, the places that I see the biggest issues are going to be like malls, retail locations. Amazingly, we haven't had like massive outbreaks at due to a Walmart or Home Depot, as far as I've heard. Even though vast majority of the time that I've been in those areas, I haven't seen a lot of people being, very thoughtful, and cautious about what they're doing. But people are, covering their faces, being aware of their surroundings. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff that could reopen. Sit down restaurants and having a table 5 foot away from somebody else, probably not, at least in the short term. Maybe have some businesses, like retail businesses, open back up. So I think that's the biggie, or the retail businesses, because a lot of other things are still deemed essential. If it's a farm, they still got to get food on the table. If it's banks, they're still running, but they've modified. Lawyers are still keeping people out of jail who deserve to be in jail.
Yeah, I don't know about Barry makes the point, by the way, that public transportation are death traps.
They very well could be.
New York, I must think, has a better public transportation system than most places as far as use and so forth. And I think they are the current high leader in the United States.
Yeah. And
by the way, when people say the United States is the worst off because it has the most, dude, we have a larger population. I think we're the third most populous country. But when you look at actually death count per million, we're not doing as bad as a lot of countries, but we may not be doing as good as like Korea and Japan. Oh, South Korea. Fuck North Korea. I don't care about those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I care about the people of North Korea. It's not their fault, but, well.
Yeah, but it's only one person in North Korea who's had any issues. And then it went to 0, and then they got it again.
Which Kim is the current Kim?
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Pop.
Apparently, he hasn't appeared on media in a while, and he had some heart issue at only 36. And there were some worries about North Korea.
They're getting wet for heart surgery and he's recovering.
Supposedly.
Well, I'm sure he's got a lookalike or two who can just take his place. It'll be fine.
Well, I've also heard his sister might take his place. I don't think he has a child. North Korea is an issue
that we know of.
Then we have Tim Pool and people talking about the potential for World War III because of this is the time to go. We have people talking about oil prices being in the negative. I don't know what's going on, man.
Wait, who was saying World War III?
Well, not exactly. He wasn't saying World War III, but he's talking about conflicts with China. Tim Pool.
Oh, I actually may have read some of that. What was his justification for it? Like everything it seemed like was that is the worst thing China could ever do.
Ongoing conflict between us and China and us and Iran.
Oh, I didn't think we were. Yeah, I mean, we are in that equation, but it's going to be mainly due to manufacturing we'll be leaving. But that's not only us from America perspective.
We should definitely bring back everything that is critical, like any kind of medical equipment and drugs and so forth.
Yeah.
I was also that China was an incredibly bad idea in hindsight.
Well, I mean, putting all your chips in one basket is a bad idea.
When China claims they own Taiwan, we could just tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah. Putting
Taiwan is its own fucking country. Fuck off, China.
Agreed. And stop invading the Philippine Sea. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the Philippines, but I really like the Filipino people I know. I saw my adopted dad in the grocery the other day. He's 3/4 Filipino, but I was wanted to walk up and hug the guy, but I was like, wait, I can't do that underneath the current conditions. Angelo, he's a cool dude.
Yes.
He's Filipino by heritage, mostly 3/4, but he grew up in Hawaii. But I told him after this shit is all over, we need to go have a beer together because Mangelo is like the coolest motherfucker you've ever. I've seen this guy. He's like, I wonder what his medical issue was because he has a problem. He has a limp, weird limp because something happened to him. I thought maybe it was multiple sclerosis or something. A story someone else told me. He was in the Marines. He accidentally got shot in the spine by a recruit.
Whoa,
he can't walk right. But I've seen this motherfucker fall on his face on fucking pavement, do a push-up, and get his ass back up. Angelo.
From the single push-up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This dude is the Billy Bob badass. he's got medical problems, but he keeps going. And I have great admiration for this man. I told him when this shit's all over, we need to go have a beer. But he's not a particularly good guy about contacting people. But hopefully, I get to go out and hang out with Angelo. I know his brother
from another mother.
Oh no, I think it's as far as I know, it's the same mother. His brother runs a sandwich shop up in Bloomington, Indiana, called Dagwood's. But yeah,
yeah, that's been around for long time, hadn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Angelo's
feel
a
that
beautiful man, but I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah,
But
that's
you know, I saw him in I couldn't give him a hug because current situation. But I saw him at the grocery here recently. I hope he continues to do okay.
Yeah. Very, very nice.
Well, there was also one more thing regarding the coronavirus. We don't actually know the full impact the thing does. We're talking about long term here, because it doesn't just have you don't just have breathing problems.
You get lung damage from it.
And it's not just lung damage. There's reports coming out that it fucks your testicles, fucks your spine, fucks your brain.
Wait, it fucks your testicles? That's
as in literally it has a physical presence in your testicles.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that one. Shit.
Yeah, some of the accounts, I think they were coming out of Italy, was saying that there was testicle side shrinkage.
I hadn't heard that. I just heard about issues of hormone production, but that could be testicle shrinkage possible. Certainly possible. I was thinking more along the lines of, is it going to fuck up sperm?
Yeah.
It's too early to tell at this point.
Yeah, it's another thing about this whole pandemic is we don't know a lot of shit. But I'm slowing because, yes, I have been drinking tonight.
No.
I've been a bad boy.
Don't go overboard.
I do. My only option is overboard to have any effect. But
I joined some wine club, and I've been getting a shit tons of wines in the mail and drinking all of them.
Wines or wine?
Wines, many wines.
Like many beers as opposed to many beers.
All different wines. It's called naked wines. Get like a shit ton of wine.
Yes, I saw. I say beer and wine the same as deer. Since there's no deers, only deer as a group, I still consider beer and wine to be the same.
Barry, I added you to the group, so join next week because you add a lot to the chat and I can't read it all, but I'd be glad to have you in on the chat to talk back and forth. I'm looking at the chat right now. Barry has a lot of comments.
Barry, you're very active. We appreciate your participation.
We love you, Barry.
Yes, Barry.
We love you long time.
KB, I'm sorry you had stuff in your sack.
Shit, man. I didn't know. I thought COVID. All right. Here's another confusion. There's different names for the fucking virus. A lot of people refer to the virus as COVID-19, but no, COVID-19 is what it is. The disease it causes.
No, COVID-19. Oh, coronavirus. 2019. Well, I don't know what the VID stands for, but the 19 is 2019.
The technical name is SARS. What is it? SARS
-CoV something.
2019 or something like that.
SARS-CoV 2-2019, I think is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did hear and my understanding is the reason they said they beeline to bats because apparently the bats in that region are known to have a lot of different, I think 50 different coronaviruses, and it's long since suspected that there would be bat to human transmission in the future.
See, we'll just blame Miss Bats for all of this.
I don't know. I feel like this is kind of like what was it called? Raccoon or
don't eat her, Adrian. Just don't eat her.
Yeah, don't eat her.
That's Frank the Tank's job.
Frank the Tank.
What I do? Drink?
No, not you, Frank. No, Mr. Married to a gentleman who goes by the handle Frank the Tank.
Yeah, I've had people add me on Facebook thinking I was that dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like you both.
Conversation with somebody who thought
I think you both have really pretty mouths.
What was Resident Evil? Raccoon something?
Raccoon City.
Raccoon City, yes. We should rename Wuhan Raccoon City.
There's a weird ass symbol on the Research Institute about viruses.
Yes.
It looks like
looks a lot like yes.
Yeah, like Umbrella Corps. Yeah.
Someone did a rearrangement of some characters to make it look like the same thing. I don't believe it was a deliberately engineered virus. However, the idea that it's something they were experimenting on and looking at and trying to understand and somehow got out may not be totally unreasonable.
Right. So,
I don't know. I don't want to be Alex Jones, but
I don't know.
well,
Because something can still be deliberately engineered and still accidentally get out.
true. There was a research paper somebody had published that said that it was a genetically engineered virus that was spliced together with CRISPR, and that they included parts of the HIV virus in it, and that it had the same sequences in there as the HIV virus. And that paper, after being published in,
Oh, the one on Medium?
I don't know, after
If
being,
it did HIV, why doesn't it target the immune system? Also,
It
we
does.
I don't know.
It partially does, which is why I think those that have compromised immune systems have, are being directed to, seek medical attention immediately, type of a thing.
that
Why would that would do some? So what I heard is that it's very good at hiding from the immune system, and that's why it replicates so much before the immune system actually does something. I've never heard of it actually targeting the immune system.
Well, I don't know if it necessarily targets. I know those with compromised immune systems are the ones who
Oh yeah,
have
compromised immune systems, diabetes. If you're
being overweight.
That would have to be very overweight, but yeah, diabetes.
I know there's a lot of talk right now about it affecting the African American populace of the United States more than it does the white populace.
What was
blaming everything on racism?
Yeah.
Statistically, unfortunately, the African American populace, and Jack and Charles can pop on if they want to counter this or they want to agree. My understanding has more of a problem with obesity than the Caucasian population, even though I'm a fat ass.
I know Charles was on here for half a thought, and then we lost that.
But there's a lot of there's some health choices among that are a little bit worse amongst the African American populace than there is amongst the European populace of the United States.
Well, but
they're getting a little harder hit by COVID-19.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case with this. From like a health perspective, I think there are a larger majority. Because like here in the country, you don't have as many Asians and Latinos and Black people. As you do.
got a fair number of Latinos depending on where you go.
Depends, but there's the vast majority of African Americans live in cities, and cities are where people are more closely
closer together is going to be
yeah.
problem. So that will cause the African American community more problems with COVID.
Exactly. Yes.
Socioeconomic factors. A lot of Black people have poor diet for some reason.
Yeah, but and that may very well be true, but in this case, I don't. I've even seen quite a few videos of like street parties occurring and things like that within African American communities that I think just culturally, wanting to be together, as well as just there's a lot more African American people in cities. I think that's maybe why there would be a higher population of African Americans getting this than other cultures or whatever we're calling people these days. But yeah, I think it's mainly like I don't know anybody countryside who's got it. It's all city people.
I have one friend who claims she thinks she has had it because they gave her all the tests for everything else. They didn't have tests for what is it, SARS-CoV-2 2019 or whatever it was. The actual name of it, they didn't have tests ready for her, but they tested for everything else. She didn't have it, and her symptoms are very close. Luckily, she survived it, no problem. Well, it's a problem because it apparently sucked the way she describes it. But I only know one person who's had it. I have a friend who I think his mom had it.
Yeah.
I think we don't know the case rate. We don't know the number of asymptomatic people. We don't know the number of people who got it, were completely symptomatic and got over it. Like, what is it? Rand Paul. he supposedly had it.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, he's working at a hospital helping people. So, and some of the movie stars who've gotten it, like we haven't heard much from Tom Hanks. We haven't heard a whole lot from Eldris Elba.
Yeah, I mean, Pink had it, I think, the singer, I believe. And I haven't heard anything since I read that.
I understand the shutdown from a perspective of we don't know what's happening. Let's try to slow the spread. Let's not overwhelm the healthcare system. But there is a lot of unknowns and people who are judging other people based on the complete stay-at-home versus the complete open it up thing. Chill the fuck out. We don't know. Let's not demonize people because we don't know what exactly is going on. There's a lot of information that's not out there yet.
Yeah. I mean, and too, with the opening up, you asked that earlier. Like, if a lot of companies I've been to, Walmart or this or that, whatever place I've been here in the last month or so, a lot of them have like hand sanitizer. They can still get it a lot easier than like we can.
Here's the thing. I wonder why liquor stores still have Everclear on stock, because I thought you could recycle that usable hand sanitizer. Also, KB says, dude, I probably had that at December or January.
Because moonshine's cheaper.
Oh. Because you can still you can't find rubbing alcohol in the stores anymore.
Correct.
But you can still find Everclear in liquor stores. Don't ask me how I know.
Yeah, and what do you need? 60% and above, right?
And Everclear is way past that because it's $195. So
it's
that.
Everclear
like
sky high.
97%.
Yeah,
it's
Everclear
pure ethanol.
Yeah, Everclear. You keep washing your hands in that, and your skin's just going to be like falling off because it's so dry after a couple days.
Welcome back to another.
All right,
what was that?
I'm gonna go wild. I'm gonna open up this chat to some people in the stream.
Open up the chat to everybody.
Wow. Wild times with Adrian. Adrian Gone Wild.
Well,
does that still exist?
Adrian Gone Wild?
No, the girl side. That was big back in like the early 2000s.
It's not doing well, and I have a lady. She's very nice. I've met her at conferences. Unfortunately, her career options haven't been that great, and like, occasionally she hits me up for like nude pics for money, and I'm like, nah, thanks, not really my thing, because I don't want to be a simp. But occasionally she also asks, can I have money for dinner? And I'm like, shit, okay, I'm gonna help you out because I am more wealthy than you are, and I want to help you out. But I feel like I don't know what the line is to not push the, how, despite what some people on Twitter think, I do have a heart for some people. I do have some empathy sometimes, not often.
So,
and I want to help out, but at the same time, I don't want to enable behavior.
So, Adrian, I know exactly who you're talking about, and I gave her some cash the other day, and she sent me a whole bunch of nude pics that I didn't ask for, but it was fun anyway.
She didn't send me any shit. I don't know. If she did, I might feel bad about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
I have read some stuff. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, unfortunately, if I was a hot 16-year-old girl, I would probably start doing this shit on Twitch. When I turned 18, I'd probably do what is it, fans only and other things. But unfortunately, that kind of money, you better save it up. It doesn't last forever. Eventually, you will hit, and I know people hate this term, but they use it in the red pill community, the wall. And the wall is real. There's only a limit to that. You have to have other career options unless you saved up a lot of money when you were young.
Because there's
live streaming is on.
All right, no, some has stopped, and also though, if you go out to Pornhub, not that I know personally, but a friend told me that on Pornhub there is a lot of quarantine-related porn. If you look like quarantine or COVID-19, or
wearing like suits, like yellow
Actually,
hazmat suits or something.
Yes. I have literally seen two people in like yellow fucking quarantine suits going at it on Pornhub. Wait, no, I didn't. No. That was a friend of mine.
That was a friend of yours.
That was a friend of mine. Talking about.
I used to have a friend who actually made money selling video cam footage of his feet. I shit you not. Like
Of his feet.
Pervs wanted to see his feet. And
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
my
I know.
goodness.
Oh, wait.
I put a
So,
webcam on his feet.
was it men who were wanting to see another man's feet, or was it women wanting to see a man's feet?
Pretty sure it was mostly dudes.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah,
gay
I mean,
community
I've heard of guys that wanted to see
See,
women's feet. I've never
yeah,
really heard of guys that
I
want to see
personally like
guys'
women's
feet.
feet. I'm personally down with that. That's fine. I didn't know the gay community had a particular foot fetish. I did hear about the bear and cubby community because I had a friend. This was back in the late '90s, I think, when I had short hair. I had a friend with long hair. I know he's freaking websites for women who liked men with long hair. So it's like, well, I'm a particularly hirsute individual. I am very hairy everywhere. And so I thought it was a site for women who like very hairy men. I could not find that. I did find out, though, there is a part of the gay community who really likes my type. Not that I'm complaining. I'm just saying there are gay men who like the bears.
You're cuddly.
Yeah, baby. One of my friends, when someone said that me and Jack look the same, someone said, "You think a sexy black man looks the same as a Jewish teddy bear?" I guess I look Jewish too, Mary, but I guess I get the teddy bear thing. But apparently, Jack is sexy, which he's a good looking dude, and I'm a Jewish teddy bear.
Yeah, it's a good thing he's not here to say a word.
You might watch it later. No, he probably won't. Who the hell watches this later?
What are you talking about? He's creeping.
Hey,
That's
Jack,
what Jack
we
does.
love you, and you are sexy.
Yes,
You
as
sexy,
Adrian
sexy.
would say, Adrian loves you long time.
Oh yeah,
We love you long time.
But
he is a pretty. Well, seriously, no, Jack is a pretty man.
yeah, I'm not going to argue that. But in the same sense, I'd really, I want to take Jack's picture and throw some different hair on there just to see what it would potentially look like.
What, like shape his beard a different way?
Just throw some Instagram filters on him.
No, I mean, because he does the bald side, but throw some hair, at very minimal, a flat top, but see what some different hairstyles.
Wait, actually, Jack still is in the chat. And
I
also,
know.
Barry says that the women like bears too. Well, show me the ones. I'm pretty sure there are some, but it's a hard time finding them. I want a nice chick I go hike and do exercise with. But egads, I like to eat too fucking much and I drink too much. Maybe you can correct me at that.
The primary thing that the opportunity you missed out on, you heard that there were some women that were attracted to men similar to you, right? The opportunity you missed out on was making a dating website that was 100% devoted to you or men that are like you, and finding that one woman out there who actually signed up for the site.
I've heard people suggest that. I think someone just joined. Someone joined and then left before I could see who it was.
I missed it. No,
By the way, people got to check. We only have 4 right now. Well, no, we have 5 right now.
Yeah, somebody is saying that he has an afro and this thing shut down my barber. Dude, you need to take a pic and post that. We want.
Yeah, I like to see that, Jack. That'd be cool.
Yes.
Because normally Jack is like clean, super.
Yeah.
Wait,
straight.
Why do you need a barber though?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you keep that thing pretty tight. Like that wouldn't be. Are your stores sold out of razors too? Like what? Come on, really?
You can order them on Amazon still. I found out it takes a long ass time to get a fucking thermometer now.
A lot of stuff is delayed until March. May 13th. Okay. May 13th, I think, 12th or 13th, somewhere in there is like this magic date. I'm getting some things before then, but like May 12th or 13th is like the magic day when everything is coming by. So something's happening May 12th or 13th.
Yeah, I had the same thing going on with Amazon. I got a bunch of shit that's coming out May 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my plague masks in, but other things seem to be taking forever to get here. It's got a latex a plague mask. By plague mask, I mean like the plague doctor mask with the looks like a raven.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
I
a
thought,
pleather
I thought
one.
you already had that one.
I have two. I have
Oh,
one
okay.
Playtex and one is pleather, like fake leather,
Yeah.
plastic leather. And my brother apparently has the same one I have. And as far as pleather latex masks, we both have perverse senses of humor. Mine's in
Yes.
black, his is in white.
Well, I mean, whenever I see that, all I think of is Spy versus Spy.
I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's 100% Spy versus Spy.
Didn't that artist die a while back? A little bit ago?
Maybe. And Jack, Amazon lied to you. Yeah, there are, like I said, not everything, but a lot of things. So most of my stuff I'm getting next week that I've ordered recently. But there are certain things that normally, a month ago, I'd be getting within 3 or 4 days. That's all being pushed out to, that second week of May. So I think it's just primarily due to them taking emergency types of items first. I mean, shoot. And no, you're probably not going to be able to get this hat.
No!
Yeah, sorry. This was essentially the last of a dying
Some things
breed.
come in fast, some things don't.
Yeah.
I've had that fucking Mac thermometer on order for quite a while. I've had some emergency food for quite a while.
Oh,
that said,
I actually did get some emergency food in.
I got some MREs from Mark. I ordered some MREs from Mark, and it took like 3 days to get here. It was pretty quick.
I order from them
longer.
I get boxes like once a week on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we know you get your wine.
I get my fruits. I get some meats and vegetables and all sorts of shit. It's great.
My 22, I have a little PT 22 Taurus 22 pistol.
Yeah,
its magazine came in pretty fucking quick.
Nice.
But I love all the lefties out there who are now looking to get guns and don't understand how difficult it can actually be.
Well, I mean, granted, it doesn't have to be that difficult for somebody who is a capitalist, right? You can kind of name your price reasonably right now. For anybody who, say you have 12, 15, 50 plus weapons, parting with one or two may not be that big of an impact.
I only have 23.
Parting with one or two may not be that impactful to you, and you may be able to make a decent profit right now. Supply and demand. So,
have you ever watched the YouTube channel Forgotten Weapons? It's Ian somebody. I don't remember the guy's name.
You have posted something about it, and I want to, but I haven't yet.
Sometimes he posts fascinating things about the engineering of various weaponry. I think he has a thing on the M1 carbine recently. I think he's helping someone else out with a book on British bullpups.
It amazes me the mechanics and the precision that has throughout time gone into so many of our weapons. Not just guns, but other items too. Because, and there's others who could speak much more eloquently than me. Actually, like, Darren's here and could. But the precision that still has to take place, and now we can machine it, to a very minute spec, and get it essentially exactly right. But they 50, 100, 150 years ago still had to get it pretty close to exact too, without having all this precision equipment, and essentially by hand and doing hand forges and this and that. We're still getting it that good. That is amazing to me.
Yeah. Ian has a great talk on the Colt Manufacturing Company, which isn't what it was at one time. I only own 3 Colt pistols. But it's
Oh,
kind of bad
only.
things they have. Well, only
Yeah.
two, yes.
Yeah, the 99.9 percentile don't own any. So and you own 3, so very nice.
Yeah. One of them though needs some work, and I'm afraid to take it apart. My thing is a special wrench you have to do. It's some cylinders not spinning correctly, but the outside is beautifully kept, and I probably never shoot it because it's a 38 special,
Yeah.
and the Colt Python still functions fine, so there's no reason for me to shoot the 38 special.
Gotcha.
But it's a 38 police special. I'm trying to remember the exact terminology. And then my brother, I gave the Colt Trooper to, and the Colt Trooper is essentially a working man's Colt Python. It's not as pretty, it's not as polished, but functionally, it looks like it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah. There's a couple Colts I want. I want sequential numbered or sequential serialed Colt Armies someday.
I have a Colt. Well, Colt Armies. What do you mean? Is you talking about the old revolver? Or are you talking about the 1911?
Yeah, it's an old revolver.
Okay.
Yeah, they use those in a lot, and too, like I like the old spaghetti westerns, and those are what were used in a lot of the old spaghetti westerns. And then, so I like those. I want them, sequential serial numbers. Yeah, those will be nice once I get them.
Well,
If
like
you
two
want-
of them, so you can double do the John Woo thing.
Yeah, just it's going to be for me more of a collector item. I will shoot them occasionally, but it's going to be more for a collector's type of thing.
Yeah. Oldest Colt I got is a Colt 1911 that it's not completely original. I'm pretty sure I know. Well, actually, I know for certain that the sides have to have been replaced. But according to the slide serial number, it was made in 1915.
Yeah.
And I'm not shooting anymore because I got a pair of ordnance from my uncle, which is a larger capacity 45 and seems to work pretty well. But what was Darren was talking about 2011s, which is another name for high capacity 1911 like pistols. What is the deal, Darren?
They're usually double stack, yeah.
13 rounds of 45 is nothing to be sneezed at, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
And the 9mm versions that are usually 19 rounds, so they hold they hold a lot of rounds. Now, what you're talking about, Israel, what you might want is to look at the Ruger New Vaquero. It's basically Ruger's model of the Colt Single Action Army.
Nope.
And they
I want
do
Colt.
have. Well, you're not going to find many original Colts because Colt hasn't made them for 20 years or longer. But if you want matching serial numbers, though, get the Ruger New Vaquero. They have the SASS set, which is a double set that has matching or has sequential serial numbers.
Yeah, but still not a Colt.
They're very faithful to the Colt design.
Okay.
Well, a lot of people make 1911 like guns, and I know a lot of people seem to like Kimber.
I wouldn't touch Kimber with a 10-foot pole.
You don't like Kimber? Okay,
Their quality control is absolute shit.
All right,
since when? Like,
since
2000s? I had one.
If you had a Kimber,
I had like a 2005, 2006, and it was a really, really good gun.
If it said Clackamas, Ohio on it, or sorry, Clackamas, Oregon on it, it was still good. That's when they custom made everything. But when they moved their factory and the original owner got ousted, their quality control went to absolute dog shit.
That sucks. Yeah, and then the other Colts that I want two that are essentially the same, like a Colt Commander 45. So, which are getting harder to find now, but I want two of them. Don't care about serial numbers on those. I want one, and then I want one to be able to give to my dad because my dad used to have a Colt Commander 45 that was unfortunately stolen and couldn't find a applicable replacement for it. So, yeah. And I used to really like that gun.
Look at some of the chat stuff. Crap. KB says the 1911 is boss. It's not bad. It's kind of low capacity for modern day standards, but I mean, John Browning was a good designer. John Browning made a lot of famous guns.
Yes.
The 1911 was okay for its time, but it's not a very good gun. I know. I'm going to say it's going to be very controversial, but I'm going to point that out.
The only retort I will put up against that, because honestly, I do agree, but the only kind of pushback is that you can customize the shit out of it, like.
Sure.
So much aftermarket stuff for 1911. If it is a gun that you like, you are in heaven. Just because there's so much you can do with it, customize everything. So that's my only pushback is if you like it, awesome. And two, the same as I tell anybody who is looking to get a gun or get another gun, go shoot it. See how it feels in your hand, everything about it, take it to a range, rent a 1911, rent whatever you want, or go with somebody or borrow a gun from somebody. Make sure you like the gun, that it's something that you will actually use in a situation.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel like you would use it in a situation, do not buy that gun. Find a gun. Go ahead.
Oh, so I now have a friend she went to a gun show with me a couple of weeks ago. Well, I guess a couple of months ago now. And she was the one actually suggested. She's kind of a lefty. She's kind of got some serious TDS, but now she bought a pistol. But she keeps wanting to hype on the idea of getting a 22 like some of the ones I have.
Yeah.
Because she thinks an AR-15 is something greatly powerful. So she asked me to come by with my AR-15 to take care of gophers or something in a fucking yard.
I would have liked to see that happen. That'd be funny to watch.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Getting my ass arrested in Louisville.
Yeah, gophers. I'm gonna probably go out with a 9mm carbine.
But I need to take her out shooting to find a gun for her because she's definitely scared of any recoil, and I think she wants a 22, and I'm like, we can get you more than a 22.
Well, but has she actually shot though?
No, she has not.
And see, that's the thing. And I would start her off on a 22, so she understands that there's a little, and depending upon which 22 you take, as well as like the load, there may be zero recoil essentially. But then take her up to a 9, and just so she feels that little bit of recoil, and maybe a 38, then a 45 type of thing.
Yeah.
So she feels more recoil. But see if she's at least comfortable with a 9.
Yeah, I currently don't have any 380s. Though I'm thinking about getting the Taurus Spectrum because it looks nifty, and you can get it in stainless steel and purple if you find the right vendor. I like purple. I know it's silly.
That's cute.
And unfortunately, this particular lady, she does care about the color of the firearm because she was admiring the pretty colored pistols at the gun show. She also admired the vampire hunting kit. If you look at Art by later, she had a vampire hunt. They had a vampire hunting kit. They had like some kind of flask,
crossbow with a wooden arrow in it.
Small pistol, had a stake. It had some kind of glass flask for holy water. That they had a couple vampire kits at the fucking gun show in Louisville, Kentucky.
I don't know. I'd be kind of interested to see a pistol that fired a wooden stake.
It didn't fire that. I'm pretty sure it fired lead bullets like anything else.
Oh,
but she did post
fun.
Pictures of the vampire hunting kit. Let me see if I can fucking find it on her Twitter, and I'll send it into the chat.
Yeah. Interesting.
And she's all scared about the coronavirus because she's in her, I think, late 60s, and she's got parents who are still alive. Both of her parents are strangely still alive. I say strangely because I'm used to people in the 60s. Their parents have probably passed away, but
that's usually the case when you're in your 60s.
But she apparently has good genetics in that way.
Yeah, surprisingly, my dad's my grandpa the one I told you passed away, he was like 92, 93, somewhere in there. My dad was over 70 whenever he passed away. So
I
that
drank
was
wine. It's all gone.
you drank the wine and it's all gone,
Drink all of it.
like the whole bottle.
I drank a bottle in like 45 minutes.
Huh? What kind-
I'm sending a couple links into the chat for you.
No. What kind of wine was it, Frank?
It was red wine. I don't know exactly what
Well,
kind.
like a cab or a Merlot.
It was a cab.
Okay.
I don't know if it was Cabernet Sauvignon, but it doesn't say on the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, cab is my favorite. I'm not a big white wine person. If I have wine, I like it to be red and a drier one. So yeah, but I do like a good cab though. So how
bottle of wine is effective it had, man.
what was that?
KB in the chat said that bottle of wine was effective because it had an end.
Ah, nice.
I sent it to the YouTube folks too. In
What-
case they want to see it.
This tweet you were posting.
Oh,
Yes.
it's Art by later talking about this vampire hunting kit we found at the gun show.
And yes, Barry, 45 is way slower than 9mm.
Yes.
100%.
But it's really big.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I mean, but in the same sense, speed, if you are talking, less than, 50 yards, doesn't really matter as all that much.
Beyond that, really, for most bullets.
Yeah. I mean, because and two, like my everyday carry is 9mm hollow points. Until I got my most recent everyday carry, I used to carry 45 with hollow points in it too, and I essentially just got to the point where that thing weighs 15 freaking pounds. At least it feels like it. And I got tired of carrying all that weight, so I dropped down to a 9. My aim is good enough that I don't care. I am still going to shoot him 2 times with a 9mm and put him down exactly the same as I would a 45. So, but and 2, you're going to have less bullets with the 45. So if you are a horrible shot, and say with your 45 you have what, Darren, maybe 6 to 8 rounds on average, right, with the 45, somewhere in there. If you don't think you're going to hit them with that, first off, you shouldn't be carrying. You need to get out to the range, learn how to shoot. But yeah, 9 versus 45, that whole argument is kind of goes on mute ears for people who can accurately shoot, because 9's not going to put down as much as a 45, but
That's really not true anymore with modern hollow points.
Well, yeah, but that's what I was going to say though. But due to how you shoot is ultimately going to depend, like how you use the weapon.
Shot placement matters more than the size of the round.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm trying to get to.
So having a better ammo capacity makes more of a difference.
Yeah, but 2, shot placement's going to take precedence over ammo capacity.
Well, consider your average 45 round capacity is 10 rounds. Average 10 9mm is 10 rounds. Or I'm sorry, 15 rounds. So you have 50% more ammo capacity.
Up to, for like a full, not like
for a magazine.
Yeah,
the capacity for a magazine,
but
so
like a full size, not like a compact though.
No, even compact.
15 rounds on a 9, really?
Glock
Shit.
19 holds 15 rounds.
I don't give a shit about Glock. I don't like Glock.
Most of them do. I mean, the full size 17, the full size was it CZ Shadow 2 is 19 rounds, I think. So
Really?
yeah,
But
yeah,
but those are going double stack too, though, right?
yes,
Those
they
aren't
are.
synced. Okay.
Yeah, when you talk, I'm comparing double stack. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
For my conceal stuff, like my 45, yeah, is double stack, but my 9mm, they're single stack. So
my 9, I have a couple 9mm, but it's a Glock 17 which holds 17 rounds, and the other one is a GC2 from Taurus, which holds only 12, but it is a it's a compact. I've been wanting to get a pocket pistol though, so I've been looking at the Spectrum.
the only pocket at least thing that I'm going to be considering a pocket pistol and probably acquiring in the future is going to be a Derringer. Well, I guess I'll pull it back out. Wait. I have to open up safes. So I don't have the right screen up. So this one, okay, there. Now everybody can see it. Is single stack, Springfield. I really, really like this thing. It shoots freaking amazing. This one actually came with the laser stuff on it. I think I have sighted this in one time, the laser, and never touched it again. But
Yeah. Lasers are stupid Gucci shit. Don't do them.
Yeah, I mean, I've never used it. My wife has the same gun without the laser. And two, a big thing with the laser, it makes finding a holster 1,000 times more difficult.
Oh.
So do not do the freaking laser. It is such a pain in the ass.
If you're gonna get something for underbarrel, get a light.
All right, guys, I'm gonna cut out. It's been a great cast.
I see you, Frank.
Later, man.
Actually, we've probably gone off topic enough, but I'm gonna I'll leave the chat going and cancel the stream because I have enough crazy motherfuckers on the internet talking about red flagging my ass. So everybody,
Well, hey,
see you
maybe
week.
next week it'll be a purple flag.
We'll see. Everybody, catch you next Wednesday.
Adios. Have a good weekend and